Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
A little closer. Cause of
Freestyle for life.
every day, maybe.
How's that?
Check 1 2 3. Check 1
Yeah,
2
she's good.
3.
She's good. And then, what's up, everybody? We're just testing the mics. We're gonna be going live on the app in a little bit. Welcome, everybody. Tuned in to the show. Thank you. Another Sunday, fun day coming up. We got a lot to talk about this week. Congratulations to everybody that made it through the week, and hopefully everybody has a better week coming up.
Week.
Very tough week. Good thing the weather's breaking a little bit, tiny bit. We got a little break this week.
It was icy.
Yeah,
It was still icy.
I know, but still, it was in minus 17 degrees.
Yeah, I know.
The only place they don't get cold is Locust Valley.
That's because Joe's there.
Because Joe's there.
Yeah, Joe's there.
I won't allow it.
Yeah.
That's it. The mayor said, get out. All right, guys, we're going to be going live on the app in a second. So enjoy the show. Hope everybody tunes in. And please pass the word out. We got a bunch of big things happening soon. So we can't make too much announcements on it. But if you watch our Facebook page, you'll
Let's
see.
just say we're booked for the next 2 months.
That's good.
And thank you for Joe, because when we went to the foundation, the Freedom Foundation,
Yeah.
they were all coming up to me.
Good,
And
good.
you know what they said?
What?
They go, well, we did mention it to Joe Gallo.
Uh-huh.
I says, okay, but he didn't mention it to us. What's going on here?
I don't know.
And then you know what he did?
What?
He went and got himself some like houdouvres, French bread and some
Gravy.
tartar sauce and gravy.
Oh, nice, nice. But we get into the other stuff. But me and Joe got you good.
Yeah, I know you
on
did.
Sunday, so
I know you did.
we got to talk a little bit about that
Oh
also.
yeah, oh yeah. I know you did.
All right, guys. So here we go. Enjoy the show. We're gonna be going live on the apps, and also we're gonna be live everywhere. So it's gonna be going up on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify. We on oh god, everywhere, man. YouTube. So all right, guys, here we go. We're gonna start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages, I would like to welcome you to another episode of Jay and Ralph's House. The only podcast on the internet that you can speak freely and will not get banned. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Jay and Ralph's House with your host, DJ Master J and Ralph C, and special guest host Joe Gallo.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you for everybody listening on the app on Facebook Live. We're on Facebook Live. We got people listening in New York, Connecticut, Jersey, Staten Island, from Boston. Actually, we got people listening from Germany on the app still. We had a very busy week. It was very cold in New York. I don't know where everybody's from tuning on the app, but we've been very, very cold spell this year. So, but, hopefully everybody's safe. All neighbors are safe. Nobody, no tragedies happen. I know Glen Cove with the homeless, they were great. They were sheltered, and they're safe. Thanks to Mayor Pam. She's doing a wonderful job, like I said. And I know it's not her fault, but the only complaints I still got is the snow on the corners.
Here we go.
That's it. But
Here
otherwise, she's doing
we
a
go.
great job. And
Why, does she plow?
No, I'm just saying I know she got the little connection to make that call.
Yeah, I understand, but you have to remember one. You have to remember one thing.
I know.
When the snow is coming down like 3 inches an hour,
No, I
it's
understand.
almost impossible.
No, I understand.
But you know what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna call Master J, and he's gonna plow with
I'll
us.
do it. Listen, I'll put some. Go ahead, Joe.
Give him the tow truck to tow the cars off the
Yeah, that's a
street.
good idea.
Listen.
That's another problem.
Yeah.
The people that are parking on the street, but I spoke to Mary Pam today. She said all the park garages were full to the max.
No, they were full. I'm just. It's not only his residents been coming up to me and everything, and because they know we do the show. About the only complaints that I got was the corners of the property.
No,
but
but where you gonna,
sometimes
where do you put that snow?
Well, can you use that machine that captures it and melts it?
Yeah, might as well. Or a blowtorch.
I got a flamethrower. You want to borrow it?
Listen,
Sell snow cones.
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
But otherwise, I think they did a great job. Actually, I mean,
We did the best we can
That's
with
it.
what we had.
That's it.
That's all
it.
you have to say.
That's
you
it.
know? Because
Yeah.
because I know you guys also is tough for you guys.
Oh no,
too.
100%.
Because you have to remember, you guys do the parking lot, and where do you put the snow?
Yeah, but not only that is we had to cover some teacher spots and
Oh, boy, they must- oh, boy.
oh, forget about it. It was like
There goes the union.
it was the FBI who was coming down. They called Secret Service and everybody.
No gold stickers for you, Joe.
There's no gold stickers this year for me.
Can I just add something?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. This is
Go ahead.
this is Courtney.
My parents moved us from Atlanta to Boston,
Uh-huh.
and to toughen us up, and we hit the blizzard of, what was it, the huge blizzard, 78.
Oh yes.
Something like
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Know the law. No whinging or whining about anything. You don't whinge or whine to anyone, anything. You make it. We couldn't even get out of our house on Beacon Hill. We had to claw through it and get out, and no complaints. So,
Yeah.
you know what? Everyone does their best here. Respect. And if there's a little ice, just hop over it.
This is
That's
why we invited her.
That's right.
See that?
She's the voice.
That she is the big time.
Now let's give the name and let's say who's
So-
behind that voice.
Well, before we introduce her,
Go ahead.
I have to congratulate. So my sister, my only sister, her son Michael is he's in the service,
Nice.
and he just passed his next level, and he'll be flying helicopters now. in the
Wow!
service.
Congratulations.
So Michael,
Thank you.
yeah, Michael, congratulations.
yeah, Michael.
She was texting everybody yesterday, but I had so much, or the day before, but there was so much going on this week, with work and with union and with so much. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to congratulate her. And I know Joe's a big, he loves our, the military. He talks about it all the time on his show too.
Yeah.
He gives a shout out to all the veterans. So do we.
Yep.
We care a lot about our veterans. But thank you, Michael. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, he's be flying helicopters now. So you know what that means?
You're getting a free trip.
That's right. and you know what? He should pick us up and fly us all over the place
Yeah.
with the Jay and Ralph bumper
Whoa.
sticker on there. You know?
Hell yeah. We get a big logo made for the side of the
Yeah,
ring.
I'm thinking about it.
Right. You can do it.
So, Courtney Callahan.
Yes.
I see every time I see her, she always gives a big thumbs up to our show.
Yes.
But I learned a lot about her. She does a lot of volunteer work.
Oh.
A lot of volunteer work. And I asked her to come on the show. She's a big supporter of our show. We love our fan base. We absolutely
100%.
love our fan base.
100%.
But we try to keep it positive. But Courtney is always saying good things about the show. So I said to her, "Come on the show. Just come
Yeah.
on, because we love to bring on regular people, especially people who are volunteering every 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Our veterans. We want to bring people that are just regular people that make the community better.
Exactly.
So that's what we're. But one more thing, in the beginning of our show, when we have that at Jane Ralph House, can you change it to special guest Mayor Joe Gallo, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Can you
on
change that? Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're gonna change that because it's got to be. It's just too plain for him.
Nah. We got to
Am I wrong, Joe?
I'll accept it.
Okay.
All right.
So Courtney, introduce yourself.
I'm Courtney. I'm a Southern girl. I moved to Boston when I was in 7th grade, and that's where my career started, really. Back in those days, parents had no idea where you were. So there were we lived in Beacon Hill that everyone thought was so fancy, but it was kind of down and out because people had moved to the suburbs. And I just found a lot of homeless men at the Sevens bar that everyone went to, like preppy people, poor people, the homeless. It was kind of like that cool place. And in the morning, they'd all be just on the ground in front of it. So I decided it was my job in life to take care of them. So I brought them blankets. I went to the store where we had to charge in those days. And my father said to me, and they never asked me really what I was doing, my parents. And he said, can you just keep the bills down at DeLuca's? And I was like, okay. And that was it. So those men deserved my attention, and they were so good to me. And, that's where I started. And I have had a very adventurous life. I have covered the Iditarod sled races. I have lived in Czechoslovakia after I'm in a little bit of a Valentine's coma from all my work. I work at Nosh now. Nosh is my main business.
Nice.
So I've had a really good life, but I've really seen the light in the dark. And I try to bring the light to the dark. And, that's why I love Glen Cove. It is such a place of sharing. You have every kind of person. I used to live in Locust Valley, Mayor, so love my Locust Valley peeps. And there's just a lot. There has never been a place I've lived who will help more when you reach out for help.
And that's Glen Cove.
That's Glen Cove.
And my wife is from Locust Valley too, believe it or
and
not.
well, in Locust Valley,
Yeah,
because those are all my peeps. So I really have to say I've never lived in a place that has been this rewarding to do good and have so many people do that.
So when did you arrive to New York from Boston? Did you go to Locust Valley first?
No, you know what? I went to boarding school in Connecticut, and there were a lot of Locust Valley girls. And at one point, they all said, we think you have to come to Locust Valley.
Wait, Locust Valley was in the Connecticut boarding school?
No, it was in Simsbury, Connecticut. It was Ethel Walker's next to Foxborough, or Miss Porter's, where Jackie Kennedy went.
Oh, wow.
Like fancy girls.
Wow. You got a celebrity here.
Actually, my wife has a friend that was in a boarding school, but I don't know which one it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to tell me.
Yes.
But I learned a lot there. It was one of the first places for autism, and I had no prior, they didn't give me any prompts of what I should do, what was going on, and I just learned. That was a significant part of my growing up because I was thrown into something I knew nothing about, and I just coped. And I found, love and light there. I was a reporter for a long time. I worked
for where?
People magazine.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
We got
a celebrity here. We thought Joe was famous.
Yeah, Joe Walkout. Yeah,
I know you'll like this. I freelance for the New York Post a lot.
Really?
I worked for Richard Johnson, Page 6.
Wow.
Nice.
I've seen the, Jesus doesn't like that.
I'm surprised you don't have her autograph yet.
Yeah,
Trying to
I think we have to make a sign of hat or something like that. Jeez.
I was editor of Hamptons magazine under Randy Schindler. Amazing guy. He started Hamptons magazine.
Where did you find all this time?
I don't know, but it's been great, and I love that. And then I'll really blow your minds right now.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Then I end up, my dream job was the National Enquirer.
How did you get
wow.
that?
I got it. I wrote them a note. It was 2 sentences long. I said, I can interview princes and truck drivers like equals, like they're, I get you, an interview. And I got the job the next day.
Oh my God.
Nice. Wow.
That's incredible.
The only thing that wasn't fun was that, how you heard about all the briefcases full of money
Yes.
that the reporters would go around?
Yes.
I never got that because I was a good reporter. I had been trained. So when I lived in Czechoslovakia, I worked for all the British tabloids. And that was my job.
How long were you there for?
2.5 years. 2.5 years.
Wow.
Now they were saying that I heard a lot of times that National Enquirer is a lot of fake news in it. Is it true?
You know what? This is what I would say. The Hollywood branch of the family, I don't know how they worked. All I know is that when I left to go, I don't know what my next job was. When I left, when they sent me on assignments on actors and actresses, I would call my editor and I think she kind of looks like Angelina Jolie, but I'm not sure. Or I think that's Alec Baldwin, but I am not sure. And they're like, oh my God, Callahan, you don't even watch TV. You do not know actors and actresses. I'm like, no. So finally, when I left, Barry Levine, who is the greatest reporter, he was my editor in New York. He broke so many big stories. He had someone make paper dolls and put the faces of every celebrity, and anyone he hired after that had to pass that test.
Did you pass?
No, it was for all the people following me.
Oh.
So I
oh,
did-
but you're the one that started that.
I did not. So yeah, so everyone had to like take that IQ. But I covered 9/11. I covered the DC sniper. I covered Elizabeth Smart. I almost found Elizabeth Smart. So I did
Wow.
like investigative stuff. So I went from the Kentucky Derby at People Magazine and doing all the B-list weddings like China Phillips and Billy Baldwin and Matt Lauer and his wife. And it was so funny because this like just dogged paparazzi sitting next to me when we were covering the Matt Lauer's wedding. He was like, yeah, this isn't going to last. I'm like, come on, it's like a fairy tale. It's going to be great. And then that ends up in a ball
Didn't
of
last.
fire.
It didn't last.
He was right.
The prophesizing paparazzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there to me, you know, when that story broke about Princess Diana, that was the
Yes.
paparazzi that caused that crash. I mean, do you believe that?
I don't know.
I mean, are they really on top of people?
You know, I knew a lot of people who knew her because I have a lot of friends in London, and a lot of people went to Eton, which is a boarding school, with her brother. So I kind of had an in on that. But you know, the thing is, whatever it was such a tragedy. Except she was such a good woman, and I think it was so easy to follow the fluff. And I just want to say this. She was a saint and a good woman. When she went to, now my Valentine's comments back, when she went to Yugoslavia for the landmines. I mean, and she went and held the first hand of an AIDS patient. Put your hand out. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, I would. Yeah.
She was a good woman. So,
But she did so much too for like the famine and she.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She did a lot. You know, and that accident was just
Tragic.
it was horrible.
It was traumatic.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was crossing cultural lines that a lot of people weren't ready for.
Right.
You know, she was just open to love, and, you know, they called her the people's princess.
You met her?
No, I never met
Oh,
her.
oh.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow. Who was like the biggest celebrity? Well, not celebrity, but anything like
Okay, I'll
a
tell
world
you
leader or
I'll tell you, when I was 4.5 years old, when I lived in Atlanta, my father would like try to escape my mother and go to the bank on a Saturday, so we'd throw one of us in the car. There was a lot of sort of vodka and tab and Virginia Slims going on, so he'd take us. So we were walking down, you know, he worked at CNS Bank, and so this man just like walks up, and I don't know, I kind of just stopped, and so my father put out his hand and said, Pastor King, and he's like, hi, John. And then the next thing I knew, he was kind of bending down, and of course I curtsied because back in the day, that's one would do.
oh yeah.
So I got his hand, and I curtsied, and something just happened to me that changed my whole life right there and then. It was like light. It didn't burn, but it was electricity went through his hand into mine, and it was just pure love. And because my father met him so warmly and he met my father warmly, it was like I knew that they were friends, right? So I'll cut the story a little short because it took me many years to process what actually happened. But we're in the car going home, and my father's like, you are being very quiet, Courtney. And I was like, I know. And he said, would you want to talk about it? And I said, well, yes, Daddy. I said, now I know that in my storybooks that real kings are black.
Oh yeah.
Because
Did
his
you know
name
who that
King.
was at first, or you
Well,
didn't?
he said Pastor King.
Yeah.
So I knew, and then in the fill-in on the way back, Daddy said, I know his children. He has a child who turns out to be Bernice, who's your age. So my father always couched it like that. That first to my father, Pastor King was a dad, and that he was a great man, and he and so as we would talk growing up, the only time my father ever yelled at me, maybe there was one more time when I think I was in 6th grade and we were studying the Reverend King, and I said, and I was not like a braggy kid, but I said, I'm going to tell everyone that I know him. And he said, stop. You must be humble. You met a great man. If you are going to talk about him, you are going to do things to end racism and change the world and change hearts and minds. And he said, remember, I knew him as a dad. He will always be a dad first. And he took care of children from the time he lived on till now. So it was really like, it was a very serious business in my house. My parents were from the North. So, you know, they didn't march, but they were, you know, they had everyone. Atlanta's very cosmopolitan, you know.
So that's the early 60s, correct? When you were down there?
So I was born in 63. And so I probably met him in 67, 64.
Because there was so much violence going on down the South.
Well, people do ask me, they said, were you scared of monsters? You know how sometimes you'll have conversation and people say, what were you scared of when you were little? And they say, are you scared of monsters? I think probably a sleepover party. And I said, oh, no, I'm not scared of monsters. You know, I'm scared of the Klan. Because it was just scary. Do you know what I mean? There would be, and that's another thing with the Jewish faith. My mother always, you know, she was very clear. I will tell you a funny story because it's getting deep. I worked at the State Department in 9th grade for my internship from my school, my country day. And I packed my suitcase, and you guys won't know this, but red Papagallo shoes were really big back then. And my mom said, do not take those. If you take those and go to the State Department, you understand that prostitutes in certain countries wear red shoes. And
is that right?
No. Well, what?
Yeah,
I mean,
back
did
then,
I
yeah.
know? I mean, I'm clearly in
Right.
9th grade, did not know that. So, and I am a good girl, and I don't really do naughty things, but I was attached to those Papagallos. They were stylish. I was that age. I put them back in the suitcase. I went to the State Department, and I was like, oh, my God, what if I get thrown out because they think I'm a prostitute? Now, this is a preppy
Yeah, I mean,
14-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's
But I didn't.
unbelievable.
But I got to work in the State Department, and what was that good story? I worked in the State Department, and this lady who ran the State Department knew everyone. So, and my father went to school with George Bush. They went to Andover together. So I was a Republican. I was a good Republican most of my life. And then something happened. And then I became a Democrat. But I'm a Republican.
Yeah, I'm an independent, so
Yeah, you know, but it's...
I always vote for the person. but
Yeah,
I'm not big with
I-
politics.
I think that's probably
Yeah.
exactly what I do.
Yeah.
But I just, you know,
You ever think about writing a book?
I have a lot of stories. And I don't want to bore you. I just have.
Well, you're not boring me.
I've had a blessed life, and I started to write my memoirs.
Oh, you
I did.
are?
I did because I'm 62.
The thing with the Dr. Martin Luther King is just incredible. He
Yeah,
came up to your car.
No, on the street.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny because when I was in school, when I was in high school, I got blasted because I wrote a report about Malcolm X.
Wow. See, look at him.
I love him.
Yeah.
And you know, and you know, I know early on, you know, with all that nonsense that he was a criminal. He went and he went to jail and he redeemed himself, but he became such I would say one of the smartest men I've ever seen. Very intelligent. So I wrote a report about that, and the teacher was so mad at me.
Wow.
Yeah, because the teacher said, "Oh, you know, he's a hate monger," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, he's not. You gotta listen. You gotta listen to him. You know, listen. Everybody loves their own race. Everybody loves their own religion. If you can't talk about that, that's a problem."
That's amazing, and it's also for redemption. I think when you're in the business I am of, you know, working with people who have hard times, and all of us, we have got to give people the space to change, and not to, you know.
Yeah, there's always time for change. Always.
And that is so amazing of you. How old were you?
I was in the middle school. Middle school, and Mr. Scateri, I had to go to the office.
But you spent your whole school.
Yeah, I know. I was always.
That was nothing.
My last 2 years in high school, my homeroom was in the principal's office.
Still going to class. He went to.
My mother always told me that the reason why you're always doing things is because you're bored, because you know everything they're teaching.
Because you're curious.
Yes.
You were curious.
Yeah, I was very curious. Are you kidding me? But no, so what happened was I went to Mr. Scatteri's office and he said, what about George Washington and stuff? I said, yeah, I love this country. I love George Washington. I love what they did, our founding fathers, but he was so interesting.
Yes.
He was really interesting, but the teacher's like, well, he's a hate monger. No, he wasn't. You have to open up your eyes and look past that, because in everybody, and I don't care who you say, somebody always has something to say that's not right. I'm telling you right now.
And all of us, it says something that's not right.
Right. So, Joe is a good guy, but sometimes he cracks on me all the time about, gravy and French bread, and, they always bust my chops all the time. Freestyle, they like freestyle music. But, like Joe has a radio show called the Italian House Party. And he gets a lot of good people on there too, and a lot of religious people too, right? So you try to expand your mind. I don't like people who are just one straight mind, only think one way, because there's so much out there. And when you talk about the homeless, my wife, she'll go home and make sandwiches and run out and look for those two homeless guys, both with the wagons.
Yeah.
That's what she does.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
They're like Arctic explorers. They are survivors. Like
one of them was in the tent when it was 4 degrees.
Yeah.
But when I heard that what you did with the Nosh is amazing. That's amazing.
So, that was really an amazing thing. I worked in outreach. I was at St. John's of Ladingtown, the most amazing people there. They were so giving. And when I first sort of ventured into Glen Cove, because, you have to sort of be allowed to come into Glen Cove. It's really special.
Is that true, Joe?
Kind of true. It's kind of true.
I always came here.
Well, I would, of course you could, but so I met Phyllis Burnett.
Oh, she is my best. She is my best buddy.
She trained me. She took me just like this little church mouse, and she's like, we gotta work.
She's wonderful.
Gotta work with you. And she really raised me up, and Anne-Marie, those two raised me up, and I started working with the Finley, they created the Finley Pantry for the weekends, right? So, without that, and Phyllis is my 911 call. Like, every time I call her, she's like, where am I going now?
Really?
Yeah,
Phyllis is wonderful. She just lost a husband, too.
I know. Yeah. Such a beautiful man.
Yes.
So I really, I know every pastor here. I know Cantor Gustavo. I know, everybody, every house of worship. I got that covered.
All what? St. Rocco, St. Patrick's?
Everyone.
Really?
Everyone. You
know them all?
And I told you on the phone that I love, do you like Padre Pio?
Sure.
Because he's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really do a lot without him. And I go to St. Rocco's sometimes I have to have a personal talk. But what was so amazing
He's a saint now, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was helping a friend out, and this man came to fix their Optimum, and the man's literally under this kitchen desk, and we're just talking, and I don't know how it comes up, but he just said, I'm going to really need Padre Pio to fix this. And I'm like, oh, you know him? I was like, I know him. And so do you know what he told me? His next door neighbor was the man who was on the LIE. He had pulled off the LIE. This is a while ago, but I think his wife had cancer and she was very, very, very sick. And this man came up to him and said, go home. She is healed. And it turns out she was healed. It was Padre Pio.
Where was this?
On the LIE.
I've heard the story. But
really?
Yes. And it turns out the Optimum worker who was fixing the line, right? How about that? Connecting the line, the Wi-Fi, was his next door neighbor. They lived like in a cul-de-sac. And I actually was at Roslyn Harbor Town Hall, or, you know, that, like, I can't remember, maybe it's not Roslyn Harbor, but Roslyn Town Hall. And the lady there knew the story and knew him, so I've had it verified. But the reason why Padre Pio loved Long Island, and this is good for this show, right?
Mm-hmm.
People
Oh,
should know
absolutely.
this.
Oh, of course.
The reason
Absolutely.
why Padre Pio loved Long Island is because their family was so poor. So were a lot of people, because they were, what were they, north of Naples or south of Naples? It was a really poor place. I could have that completely wrong, so fact check me on that. But they were so poor, so his dad took a boat and worked on Long Island and in Queens and sent money back, and therefore Padre Pio
I never knew he was on Long Island.
was able.
I don't think did he ever travel here? I don't think he
Not
left Italy.
Padre Pio.
No,
well,
his father.
His
Oh,
father,
his father.
worked here, but Padre Pio has since bilocated, as they say in the business.
Yeah,
I mean,
he passed.
Eric-
He passed away in what, 68 or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's so special to Long Island that Padre Pio has such an affection for what it did, what Long Island did for his family, and it enabled him then to go to seminary and you know.
So where
become-
was he? Where was he? In Italy?
Yes.
What part? Do you know, Joe?
Working on it.
Oh,
I-
he's
you know,
he's
I
looking
do
it
know,
up.
but I have Valentine's coma because I've been with like 1,000 children in less than 7 days. Also during
My
the day
God.
days.
You have any time? You have time for yourself just to think?
Not this week, but normally I do. I usually pray a lot. I had to get by on prayer fumes this week. I am
Yeah.
a prayer, so that's how Nosh started. So the night before lockdown, it was like the night before Christmas, but it was the night before lockdown. I just thought, all right, I don't know what this lockdown is going to entail, but I just better pray and I just better talk to Jesus. So I prayed for 4 hours, which I like to do. I'm an 8-hour marathon girl. I can do it. I wish I had that time now, and I don't. So at the end of the praying, I said, so I guess I'm not going to read all these books on my coffee table that I've wanted to read, right? And I just heard, you're going to feed people. So because I had been trained by Phyllis and countless others, you know, and I'd worked at the North Shore Soup Kitchen, I was on their board, I had worked at the North Shore Shelter, and I had done a lot of other things. I prayed, and I just heard, you got to feed people. Now, you know what the joke is? I don't even eat that much, and I can't cook. Do not tell him. do not. Don't ever tell an Italian that, because girls who can't cook, that just
Strike
they're
one.
lost.
So
They're
Mark
lost.
said Petrocinola,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
his last name was Forgoni.
Forgione.
Yeah.
That was Padre Pio's last name.
Yes, Forgione.
So when did he change his name?
Because you take on your monks.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
I mean, you
right.
take on a Saint Sam.
Yeah, the saint. Yeah.
Padre Pio.
You know, when I walk into people's homes, like when I was with Cablevision, I would walk into people's homes, and especially the Italians, his picture was everywhere. And at that time, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. And then I remember
But he knew you.
he sure did. He sure did. Listen, I you know what? I believe, and there's so many miracles that happen around you, but you don't notice it. You know, and it's incredible. But when I remember the last time I walked into a house, last time I was with Cable, I saw that face again. So I asked the lady, who is that? I
You
did.
were with Cable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a coincidence.
Is that bad or is that good?
No, it's good. Like the Cable, like they're
She was just
connecting.
talking about the guy, too.
Oh yeah. I worked for Cable for 15 years, so I used to, you know, I used to, you know,
I
do
knew
the
that.
installation. But the last time I was outside, because they brought me in for a year and I hated it, because I love to be outside. You know me.
Yes, you have to be. Yeah.
I got to be outside because my fans are out there. But no, Joe. I walked into the house and I finally said, "Can I ask you a question?" The lady was wonderful, because she told me the whole history. I said, "Who is that on the wall? I see it. I see him everywhere." She told me that he is the most holiest man that ever lived. That's what she told me. I said, well, "What about the Pope?" She goes, "No." She did. That's what she said. She said, "Padre." She said, "Padre but she had that slang, that broken Italian slang. She said he is the most holiest man. He healed so many people.
So many people, and he would send some people away. To come back. He was like serious. He was just serious about this, right? But it's just so interesting that he had a lot of trouble. It was Pope John Paul II that came back because he was Pope John Paul II met Padre Pio when he was a student, a seminarian, and he came back because the church had been very hard on Padre Pio. They sent doctors. And
Why were they hard on him?
Poked it because he had from the cross. He had what's it called? See, I have Valentine's coma now.
Oh, he had like the
crucifixion marks.
scars?
Yes, and they were.
Oh, he had
real,
the scars on
and
him?
they kept bleeding. And he was really. I have to say this. He was such a saint because he was really humiliated by the amount of people who went away, doctors, and said he's fake. It's not true.
Is that right?
And he went through
Right, the stigmata, yeah, but
Yes,
that's the
stigmata.
church.
Really?
The church, yeah, they don't believe.
But then they
Why
did.
don't they? Why is that the Catholic Church you're talking about? Why didn't they believe him?
It was It was
Right.
a little bit old-fashioned. Like you got to. People are where they are, right?
But they don't believe
But-
in miracles? That
Well-
doesn't make any sense.
No, they do, but it's like the guy selling the snake oil.
Oh,
You know,
really?
Until they can prove them.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah, and then they did prove it, and then Pope John Paul II really validated
And
it.
he's a saint too.
Oh, he's an amazing person.
He's a saint,
He's
too.
an amazing person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Mother Teresa a saint too?
Oh, I went to Calcutta.
Are you serious?
I loved Mother Teresa. I cannot tell you.
You
my
met
whole
her?
No. So what happened was, I just could never get
Amazing.
to Calcutta, but I went. My friend gave me a plane ticket. I'm a rich girl with no money. I give money away. When people make
Can I have
me force
$1,000?
to do it. No, I know. But no, I'm talking about like.
I know. I'm just
But
kidding.
but the thing is, my friend for my 50th birthday gave me a plane ticket to Calcutta, and I went and I worked 2 weeks with the sisters, and now I'm very famous with the Missionaries of Charity in the South Bronx because if you go to Calcutta, that means like you're in, right? So every Christmas Day, I work at the Missionaries of Charity. We go to the housing projects, or they usually used to do before COVID a big 500 lunch for 500
Wow.
homeless and hungry. But that was an amazing. So I did have a miracle happen there. I worked in the orphanage in the afternoon, and I worked in the house for women, which was a lot of them had been put on the streets when they were little, and their legs were tied so they could never walk again.
Really?
And
Wow.
you go kind of crazy, right? So there's saints and sinners, and like everywhere.
And
all like
Mark
that.
just said they didn't believe Jesus either. That's being They
Yeah.
said that's
100. Thank you, Mark.
that's being part of being a saint.
And that's what Padre Pio proved. He knew what was true. He knew who Jesus was, and he weathered that for so many years. But you know what? You can't keep the truth hidden, and you can't keep the light hidden. And all the Italians in that area and his family, they knew, and they put a bulwark around
Was
him.
he Italian?
Yes.
He was Italian. Mm-hmm. Oh, because I don't know if you watch it. I'm big with watching biblical stuff.
Oh,
So I watched this series called The Saints.
that's yes.
That's with Martin Scorsese, and I watched the one with St. Patrick. Oh, man, that was. Did you watch that one, Joe?
But I know the story though. I didn't see it.
I didn't know that they put him on a boat and they enslaved him, and he was on a field by himself
Yes.
with goats, and then he met those people, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Amazing, but he wasn't Irish.
Yeah.
It really blew my mind.
Well, don't tell the Irish that. I'm half
Oh, okay.
Irish.
I'm sorry.
half Irish, and
My wife is half Irish too, so shh.
that's
You're gonna
No,
get
but he
yourself in
went
trouble.
back. He went
Yeah,
back.
I know. That's
He escaped and then he went back.
yeah.
So he really went back because he said that was his homeland.
Right.
That was an amazing story.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I'm like, and Martin Scorsese, I watched every one of them. I don't know if you watched every one.
That's on my docket. I only can watch one thing at a time. So now I just finished The Chosen, which I'm totally
good. Yeah, I love The
love.
Chosen.
Have you watched The Chosen?
I think my mother did.
You gotta watch.
Yeah. Is
Oh
it good?
my God,
good.
Ralph!
Very
you're
good.
You've got to watch The Chosen.
Really?
It is absolutely, because I don't like.
Oh, wait a
those-
minute. Didn't somebody talk about that on one of your shows?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Joe Cirillo. told
Joe
me.
Cirillo.
Okay.
Joe Cirillo.
Truly
Yeah.
amazing. So
Hi, Spiro. Spiro's on.
Oh, Spiro.
Oh, Spiro.
Yeah.
Hey, Spiro.
Yeah. Spiro, do you know, we got a big celebrity next to us?
Yeah.
Courtney Callahan?
Courtney, you're gonna have to come back because we'll wait. We'll push Nosh out and we'll continue with this. Right?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, this is more
Man, you
interesting.
got. I mean, I don't understand why you don't write a book.
But you know what? I can't make a connection on Nosh. So we found it that night. I called all my friends. I called Christine Rice. I called.
Yeah,
just
Christine
all
Rice.
my
She's
friends.
she's a nice lady.
I called all my friends.
He said he
and-
worked with you in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, Spiro.
Yes. Oh, Spiro's wonderful. I mean, he was another
Well,
one.
you don't
like-
know him very well then.
He was
No,
another
I'm
one
just-
like Phyllis.
No, he's a good
Another
guy.
one like Phyllis.
He's
when
he's
you're
a
in
sweet-
trouble,
No, Spiro's a sweetheart.
he's the go-to.
Yeah.
So, my friends. So I said, "This is what we're going to do. We're gonna feed people," and they're like, "Okay." Okay, so everyone was a little bit like holy hostages, where they're like, "Okay, we're going to do this." So it was basically I was worried about the children and the parents who wouldn't be able to go to work or they were sick. I just none of that sounded good. Right?
No.
And so we started. So my best story, just don't let me forget the Yiddish part, but I had seen Alan Hudson all over town. We would always go to the same meetings, but for some reason we never struck the principal of Glen Grove High
Yes,
School.
we had him here. He's a great guy.
Yeah, oh my God.
That's his
So-
boss.
Yes.
He's a wonderful man.
He is. I love. Well, wait till you hear this. Talk about saints. So I couldn't find a home for Nosh, and we tried, and so I said Mother Teresa's emergency novena in the church van, and I was like, "This is going to work." So at 4:00. Oh, I said, and by the way, God, I need to know by 4:00 that Nosh has a home, and I don't really do that, but I was desperate, so. I just thought, wait a minute, let me call Alan Hudson. He doesn't really know me. So I called and said, Alan, this is Courtney. You've seen me around. And starting this Nosh, we're going to deliver food. And I don't have a place to live. We don't have a home. And he's like, Courtney Callahan. Are you that girl I see at all hours of the night in a van, giving people things out of a van? And I said, yes. And he said, I just didn't know if you were a really good person or you were a drug dealer. And I'm like, I thought that was, he was so funny. He is the funniest guy, right? And I was like, because here I am, the preppiest person. Do you know what I mean? My style has not changed since 5th grade. But he was so kind and loving. And he said, Courtney, we're gonna get Nasha home. So he said, let me talk to the superintendent. And so he calls me back and he said, look, Dr. Rihanna really likes this, but she said in COVID, you need to take 2 days to think through things, which was very wise because sometimes I like to jump on things. And I said, wow, I should be more like her. So he said, I'll call you Monday. We'll call you Monday. Monday he called and said, you have basically Joe, they gave us the detention room, which is ISO.
The day room.
Did you see my name scrolled on the bottom?
You should have him do a head spin or a knee spin. He's
No, I
very
don't think
good.
so.
Yeah.
So,
We had him on the show, and he did mention that, right, John?
Yeah.
Because I know John helped out with the.
Yeah, I helped out with Nashi.
yes,
He
so
helped them.
When they did it.
you had your own pantry with pickup, right? So
Yep.
people would pick up. So what we
Yeah.
did was delivered. So it was so fun. That's how Rosa and I became really great friends.
Yeah, Rosa,
We're
yeah.
still
And
really-
Gately, too, is another one.
Yes, Gately
Yeah,
was one
yeah.
of our first route drivers, and so it was really Alan Hudson is the reason that Nosh is still. We're going to have our 6th birthday.
Did you think it was going to last this long?
Okay, this is what someone asked me the other day. This is what I will say. We had no idea what was happening with the pandemic. I mean, to get through every day, we were like, we fed people. Like, wow, we had 300 families really quick. We put out the word, we got it out. And the funniest story is because, as I said, I cannot get myself out of a financial paper bag. The soup kitchen finally came sniffing around. And I mean, I knew all of them. I volunteered there. And they're like, Courtney, how are you getting all this food? And I said, oh, well, we pay cash. And they're looking at me like, you are paying cash every week? I said, she goes, how do you get that cash? I said, well, every day, every Monday, I leave Nosh, and all the kids who are working at Nosh, all the adults, like, good luck, Courtney. And I would just go to nice people and say, we need $5,000. That's what I'm talking about, Glen Cove and Locust Valley.
Wow.
And I would come back, and they had no great hope in me because I am not a financier. But I would come back because of this town. Actually, Mr. Hill, is it Roger Hill, the head of Kiwanis, North Shore Kiwanis?
Yeah, we had him here, right, Joe?
Was our,
John, we had him here.
Yeah.
That was our first check.
Oh, right?
$1,000. Like, we thought, we are rich now. We can feed 1 million people. And
Not on $1,000.
So, well, we were kind of young, but
Yeah.
$1,000 was a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? So the fact was that that's how we started. And it was, and then, you know, this is what I said to someone the other day. I said, no, we were really in the day. Like, I'm in an AA, so it's a day at a time. That was good prep for me. Like, day at a time. And we just wanted to do it then. If you had told me then that it would be 6 years on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, I am so humbled because from what came as a prayer, because I was so worried about everyone here, so worried. Because I had had some close calls when I was young. And with hunger, believe it or not. I lived in a mansion, Spotswood Hall in Atlanta, Georgia, and there were times we didn't eat because my mother was an alcoholic. And God bless her, but you know what? You can live in a mansion and be hungry. So I always took that with me. You know what I mean? So that's why I was so worried about children not eating and parents not eating and grandparents. That was the metrics. But so that we're here 6 years later, it turned out that there are people who needed us. They needed the Finley Weekend Pantry, all those families. So they're just in the food prices are high. So you know what? We're here for them. And as I said recently, I said, people aren't starving here. Like, we worked with Homeland Security, Nosh. They came to us through the hospital just to give us tips. Like, have a grocery bag that's very identifiable because you can't go 6 feet to anybody, and most times people are scared, you leave it. So they wanted the first responders, the police, neighbors to say, oh, that's a Nosh bag, that's a safe thing. And they gave us some other help, and then that was from the hospital because they were really helping the hospital deal with all that. And so I think that we're still here because we are a very loving place. It's a very happy place.
But it also says that there's a lot of people hungry.
There are. And
how many people do you feed?
5,000 people a week.
5,000?
Wow. So this is how it breaks down. 750 families, which I think is probably 760 now. And then children, adults, and seniors, right? And so that's what it is.
What is causing this? Why is so many people hungry? Is it the price of food?
It's high prices. It's
unaffordable.
Life is so different now because you know what? You have to have a car and you have to have a phone. In the Dust Bowl days, you walked. Right. Like, you know, it was just, it's a very different schematic.
Well, my mother's from the Bronx, and when she moved out to Long Island, she had to get a car. She never had a car. Right. She always told me that they always took mass transit, but when they came here, she had to get a car. Mm-hmm. You know, and you're right. People have to pay car, insurance, gas, rent, mortgage. I mean, it's just... It's crazy. But
so this man, I think Michael Green, he's on Substack. He redid the whole poverty line. I think the poverty line was first announced in 1963 by a woman, great lady, and then he does it now. And he said, now again, I'm dyslexic and not a mathematician or anything, but I think the poverty line now is like 70,000 or 120,000, depending if you have kids. So don't quote me on that. Everyone can go research that. But I think that kind of proves that there's just a different level of what things cost. That means that the poverty line, isn't 30.
Right. They have to keep a roof over their head, and
Yes.
they would pay for that instead of eating.
Well, that's what happens. You
Yeah.
got to keep your lights on. So if that is in the end what we do, that's beautiful, because we also have Nosh has KFIP, so that's our kids food independence program. That's what was really we needed to address. So I'm so proud of my Nosh youth. They created this, that we have shelf stable lunch and breakfast bags at Nosh. We are going through so many now. I'm like not doing half my job now because I am trying to keep the kids making bags. And what I had to put a 911 out last week. DZ answered, Greenvale answered, Glenwood Landing, Glen Head, and Seacliff. All those elementary schools, so interesting. They got busy and started decorating bags for us. We had the product, and now bags are coming to our doorstep every day. So we're doing about 1,000 plus bags. I mean, I have to be honest, I couldn't even count today. So it's not, I don't want to say that there's like a run on the banks, like there's a run on food. It's just that the lunch and breakfast help the parents. The schools have it 181 days a year, but they don't have it on weekends
Or in the summer.
vacations or
Yeah,
summer.
right.
So our goal is to be able to, not right now, but to cover that for anyone in need. But right now, the parents, they either shop on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, so they get bags for the weekend. They're completely free. We decorate them. The kids really like that. And it's food. It's not like old 1970s pantry grade food. It's food that other kids eat. And if they leave it in their backpack for 2 days, it's not going to go bad, so it's safe that way. And I heard someone told me that a little girl brought her decorated lunch bag in for lunch or a snack, I can't remember, at one of the elementary schools. I mean, so proud that we have these Amazon jewels and we have stickers and paint pens, and it's so I think, you know what it is? It's to help the parents, and that we can help. Think about it. If you have one man comes in every Friday, has 6 kids.
Wow.
So when they all get breakfast and lunch for the weekend, that helps their family. And I'll give you one more thing. If 3 siblings come in and get lunch and breakfast all summer long, except for like 2 weeks in the Poconos with their cousins, they can bring close to $700, that's what it would be, into their own family food budget. So that's why it's Kids Food Independence Program, because my kids are nonprofit entrepreneurs. We need to rethink how all this is done, and we have to depend on all of us. We don't, we can do this as neighbors. And so imagine putting $700 into your family food budget when your parents are working so hard and struggling. It gives the kids agency over feeling shame. And we have a no shame zone. We have a lot of kids working, coming every Wednesday night. We all make KFIT bags from 4:30 to 7:30. It's really chill. It's really happy. And it's food dignity. And it's no one's fault they're poor.
Remember what I told you? I think I told you a few weeks ago when I saw you that there's a lot of other people out there that are afraid just to show up. They're embarrassed.
Yes.
And you try to get the word out there, but still there are people, I guess they're proud, but they're embarrassed, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
But can you imagine how embarrassed I was when I was in 5th grade? That I didn't eat that week.
No,
I couldn't tell anyone. And here I was, I was the rich girl. But the fact is that I understand that shame, and I understand not being able to tell anyone. And there's a great deal of pride in families. The mom and dad don't want people to know that they can't provide. But right now, it's really a luck of the game. Did you get fired? Can you get a job? Are you in the military? Are you sick? Do you have depression? Is there drinking problems?
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens in all our families. And we've really got to equalize that in terms of there's no shame. And I think we have worked very hard to change the pantry paradigm.
Do you have a website that people can donate to, or what are you looking for?
Yes.
Cash or money or
You know
even
what?
food?
Money really helps. But well, I'll tell you, decorated K-Fit bags help. But seriously, yes, cash helps so we can have purchasing power because we have a farmer's market. So Nosh is not just cans and dented cans like in the 70s. I worked in a pantry with my mother, volunteered in the 70s, and it was the grimmest thing. I think it's like ruined.
What do you mean there was dented cans? What, like supermarkets just gave you like?
So in the 70s, it's like you should be so lucky to get this food. It
Oh,
was
really?
It wasn't always the greatest. There were beautiful people, and it was just a different schematic. And the thing what we wanted to do was we wanted a mom, a dad to go into Nosh and get 2 dinners, get enough grocery items that made 2 dinners. Now, if they wanted to mix it up and jazz it up and put things together, that we totally are into that. But they could get 2 dinners plus extras like bread and cereal, and we have a real farmer's market. Because that's the one thing I could not live with. And it was the deal breaker when we founded Nosh was we committed to cold storage. Because without cold storage, you can't have eggs, you can't have milk, you can't have any dairy, you can't have frozen meat. We have frozen meat. You can make a real nutritious dinner, and we have a snack shelf.
Wow.
And so it really...
How you doing, Mike? Mike Kasakis.
Kostakis.
How you doing, Mike?
Just call Mike.
Yeah, I just call him Mike.
Mike the Greek.
But
That's it.
then also...
I know, Mike.
Do you?
Yes.
Everybody knows you. Everybody knows you.
Right, so what's the website?
Yeah, what is the
Or
website?
Thank
where
you.
can they?
Yeah.
The mayor,
come on.
What would I do without the mayor?
what would we do without him at all?
Help you
I
out.
know.
That's how I
The
feel
mayor.
about Pam. Pam is just like, thank God for Pam. She is the biggest fan of Nosh, right? You have to come over.
Okay,
and
definitely.
We want to. She is very good to us, and she supports us. She comes to everything. She was like the big star backpack giveaway day. She just loved that. Well, she's a teacher, right? So
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
her jam, and she has been so.
She always talks about the Nosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
she,
yeah.
She
Always.
really, from day one, has just been really in our court and for all these families. And it really means a lot to us. And also to teach all our youth groups that civic,
So what's the website?
Nosh, sorry.
Can you put that on the
W-
thing, Joe? On the
Oh yeah.
www.noshdelivers.org.
.org.
And we're also on Instagram, Nosh Delivers. And I run that Instagram. I do all the photography. I do the Instagram. It's kind of fun. You can keep up with what we're doing. The website is great. And on the website, you can click to donating. So we take PayPal, Venmo, checks.
But then you had another tragedy when you had the fire at the VFW.
Right. We burned down. So
And then did they go? You went back up to the high school? Did they go back to the high school? For that?
No, not after that.
Oh, you went down the village. You were behind.
No, St. Rocco's.
So
Oh, was it St. Rocco's?
We were at St. Rocco's before that.
Okay.
So Linda Eastman is our director of operations. She is just amazing. She kept us alive. We went to Jeannie took us at her restaurant.
Janine, yeah.
Oh,
Jeannie,
really?
sorry,
Oh,
Jeannie, yeah. I mean, she kept us floating, and Linda operated out of there. I don't even know how Linda did that. Then we were at St. Hyacinth for a while. Then we went to the back of Glide.
yeah, I remember you guys were there.
Peter and Liz are amazing, and so we were there. And then the veterans who we love are, they redid it with this architect, and then we could move back in, and we were just
They
so
did a great
glad
job.
oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
We
a lot of
got to-
donations. There was a lot of donations.
We got to move
Yeah.
in, but we do need financial help. We are feeding 5,000 people a week.
That's
We-
incredible.
I think Nosh should get their own building with a big huge
Well,
sign.
yeah, but how are they going to rent that out and stuff when everything's nonprofit?
Well, we have a new executive director who you interviewed here, Margaret Mayan. She's amazing, and Christine. And you know what?
Michael said thank you for all you guys do.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Michael's a big fan of us. I mean, really, we're everywhere.
But don't give him a cheeseburger.
He might cut it
He'll
for
cut it in 4 and give it out to,
everybody.
That was his story. He took his wife. It wasn't the first date, right? It was just like
First time they met.
first time they met. They split a cheeseburger.
Yeah. So I just need to say this. How we got the name Nosh is really important because when I was little, I came home from Sunday school. I said to my mother, can you sit down? I need to tell you something. I said, I'm an Israelite. And she's like, oh, you are going to be a very good one. So I was like, wow. So I always loved Yiddish because the Yiddish people just went through so much that I really believe we know that the Yiddish language comes from pain and overcoming with joy and being brave and courageous. It's just everything to me. And I really, Fiddler on the Roof, I really resonated with. You know, even though I was in Atlanta living in Buckhead, I still, in a mansion, I still was like Fiddler on the Roof, loved it. So I always loved Yiddish. So I was like, what are we going to name Nosh? It was really important to get a name, but everything is like North Shore this, North Shore, too many words. So I was like, it's got to be simple. So I'm like, how did they get Soho? So I start writing like North and then Shore, and then I'm like, no, that's not good. And then I see Nosh. I'm like, Nosh. I'm like, oh, that is Yiddish, and it's snack, and it was the most perfect. I credit the name and our logo for its longevity, really, besides just taking care of people who deserve to be taken care of, is because Nosh is such a comfy word, and Yiddish had that. They were going to survive.
And what does that stand for?
Snack.
In Yiddish?
Yes, nosh. The Yiddish word for snack is nosh. In a scary pandemic, nosh was such a comfy word. And then Claudine Baldwin, who's on our board, she is a graphic artist. She did our logo, which just was so. It was just us, and that happened in one night. It happened that night that we decided we were going to do nosh. I mean, that's how it was just meant to be. And probably Padre Pio was like behind all this.
You're I don't know how to explain you. You just, you're just such a giving person, and everything you've done, it's not about you, it's about everyone else. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, like I learned from St. Paul, we all have our thorns. I have my stuff that I have to work with. You know,
we all do. We all do.
For sure.
Yeah,
we
all
you
do.
Get that thorn to keep you, like, doing your calling.
Yeah, I mean, there's some times that, listen, everybody has faults in their lives. You nobody's perfect.
Right.
But,
Lisa, are you listening to this?
I'm not saying me, Joe. I'm saying everybody else,
I'm just
okay?
checking.
Sorry, she's not selling nothing, so you don't have to. Don't worry about it.
And
She just threw her red shoes out.
No, actually, we're gonna go to the shoe store tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, there. See that? So that's how nice I am.
So I got to ask you. So you said that writing for people and for who else was it? National
Geographic.
So
I wish National Enquirer. Yeah.
National Enquirer. What were your top stories besides meeting Mr. King was a life-changing thing? But what else?
I would say this. I did so many serious stories. I will tell you later that Ben Bradley stole a story from me, and my National Enquirer editor stands up in the newsroom. Is like, Ben Bradley stole Callahan's story. This is amazing. I thought I was going to get yelled at. You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
But it was Elizabeth Smart case. So I'll tell you what happened. Salt Lake City's in a bowl, right? There's mountains all around it. And I had befriended a homeless young man who always sat in front of the news station. You know, the small news kind of things, that old-fashioned. And so I just talked to him. His name was David. I could tell he was from a very good family. And he had probably just done too much speed or LSD, or I don't know. I wasn't a drug person. I liked white wine. I didn't know anything about drugs. So, so I was there a lot. I was living in D.C. Maybe I was in New York for part of it, but so I would see him every morning. I'd go get all my newspapers, and he said, "Courtney, come here. I need to talk to you." So I'm like, "Okay." And he said, "I know where Elizabeth is." And there was something like I'd gotten to know him. Do you know what I mean? And I knew he had been educated, even if he couldn't remember anything. And he's like, I can take you to her. So we had one day off a week, which was Monday. So I got my photographer. I mean, not my photographer. I mean, it was a photographer, that they hired. And I worked with him a couple of times. And I said, I know it's your day off. I know it's 109 degrees out. It was in the summer. But can you just come with me, because this homeless guy told me where Elizabeth is. And he really listen, he didn't sort of say, you're whacked, I'm not going. So we start literally climbing up the grassy hill. He's smoking. I'm like, oh my God, I am going to be on national TV tonight having set Utah on fire, right? So he has a little bottle of water, and I said, give me that water. So I pour the water, like when Ashes went. So we're going and going. We were and then the photographer was a little bit heavy, and he was starting to like really breathe. And I'm like, oh my God, I weigh like 90 pounds, and I'm like, here, I can go, I can keep going. So all of a sudden I had this flash, and I like felt like knives, and I was like, okay, I work for the National Choir. I'm not going to worry about that. It's probably just my mind. And so there was this big crag, and there was some space that was like a crevasse. Oh, I've been to Antarctica.
My God.
I've been to the South and North Poles. Okay. But anyway, so we're going, there's this crack, and I'm looking at David. He's bleeding. Like, I don't even know how he's bleeding from like the burr in the tall grass. I don't know what's going on, right? He had shorts on. I'm not dressed really. I'm kind of, I don't know, not dressed properly, but I'm going to make it. I don't have sandals on. And all of a sudden there's this crag this wide. And I was like, I can probably jump that. I've been in Antarctica. I've crossed crevasses with the man who went to the South Pole with Admiral Byrd.
My
Okay?
God.
So I'm like, I can cross it, but I'm looking at David, and he's run out of water, and he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. And my photographer, I'm like, he can't make it. So I'm like, okay, do I call David Pecker? And I'm like, I didn't even think why not to call my editor Charlie, but it was hot. It was 109 degrees. It had been 3 hours. So I said, do I call David Pecker and say, Mr. Pecker, this is Courtney Callahan. I have been told by a homeless man where Elizabeth Smart is, and I need to find her. I need to bring her home. And I was like, okay, Courtney, you're going to call him, and he's going to bring in the cavalry, and then they'll never find her, and then you'll get fired. I said, well, I don't care if I get fired. I mean, like, I'm not really a practical person. And, but I was worried about them dying. And I had to call it off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just too late. There was no water. It was kind of bad. It was kind of a bad situation. So I said, okay, Courtney, you're just going to pray for Elizabeth Smart 20 times a day because you just couldn't get this deal done. But I think, so what happened is I am back in D.C. It's like 9 months later. I can't remember really the timeline here. I'm on the train going home from D.C. to Virginia, and it wasn't my editor. It was one of my reporter friends called, and he's like, Callahan. He's like, holy expletive. They found Elizabeth. And I was like, oh, thank God. Well, guess what happened? It turns out she was up in the hills above her house, and I was about 75 feet away from where she was in the camp with that crazy man.
Wow.
How long was she gone for? She was gone for a
It was
little while.
9 months.
Was it 9 months?
7 months. I think
while.
I'll have to the mayor will
Yeah.
have to fact check for me.
Yeah. See the mayor.
Later. So, but the thing is, I doubted myself.
Don't ever doubt yourself.
I shouldn't have doubted, but I
Never
was
doubt
young.
yourself.
I was young, and I was working for a huge news agency, and I do have a lot of intuition. So I used to work with the FBI in Utah. I mean, I didn't literally work with them. They called me in, they got word of me, and they would say, tell us, do you think, so they sent me the guy they had arrested, right, the first guy. They said, go find, you got to come back and tell us if he's good for it. So I went to his trailer, I looked all around, and I got the hit. I'm like, no, he just didn't do it. I talked to the neighbors, and I came back to the FBI, and I said, no, he didn't do it. Well, he ended up dying in jail, so that was like so sad. But it turned out he wasn't the one. It was this crazy man. But I'll tell you something. My country day, wherever I go, I'd call girls from my boarding school. I would call, just people all over the country. And I called a boy who had gone to my school. And he was living with his wife, and this is years later. And so I talked to his wife, and I said, look, I'm in Utah, I'm trying to, find Elizabeth Smart. And this is so weird. She said to me, well, there is this crazy guy who preaches. There's like one road in Salt Lake, not really, but it's the main road where the Deseret uses and everything. And he used to be on the sidewalk, like, saying, repent, you're evil.
Brian David Mitchell.
That's who it was?
Yes. And all the parents knew that he was crazy and told their parents to stay away. But Mr. Smart, God bless him, was such a nice man, right? A God-fearing man, didn't know who he was, and hired him. And, the thing is
And he kidnapped her.
Yes.
But what did he do? He chained her? I mean, how did she not...
because she was a good girl. Like, he
God.
just said, you have to come with me. I mean, she's a smart girl. I'm just, I'm grateful she was, and I don't tell a lot of people this because I still feel guilty, but this is when I prayed about this to God, it was like Elizabeth has her story. She has her calling, and you must respect that. And all I could say, if I ever talked to her, and one day I would love to be able to, I would say, I just want you to know that someone tried. And I was young, and I didn't believe in myself enough. It was kind of like a little bit of a crazy story with the homeless man, but I had intuition that I didn't understand I had. Do you know what I mean? And it's helped me in my life. So what I did, I've taken my intuition and my prayer life to help others. And that's
no, you're
what I
doing
do.
a fabulous job.
Take any credit.
So you talk about Elizabeth Smart. I don't know if you've been watching the news the past 2 weeks about the mother that's missing.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Do you think she's alive, or it's so hard because I feel like everything is like all over the place.
So, okay, Jenna Bush Hager, George Bush's daughter, was a Nosh route driver.
Oh, really?
I celebrated the route drivers on Instagram today, and all our volunteers. We're all in red and pink. Like we have done Valentine's. Like I don't think everyone's over it now because for 2 weeks we were just all about that. But Jenna Hager Bush Hager was a Nosh route driver, and so she's very close to Savannah because Savannah is very God loving, and she wrote a book. And
she was in Locust Valley Bookstore,
yes,
a couple of years ago.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. And both. Jenna wrote a book with her sister. She's been there a bunch of times. And so all those, there are a bunch of Locust Valley girls. They're all really close, right? And obviously I knew Jenna because she was a route driver and she was a friend of a lot of my good friends. And I don't know her well. Do you know what I mean? But, friends group. And so I know Savannah to be the most beautiful person. Like, she's like the mother of everybody, and she really believes, and I believe in miracles. I have had miracles happen to me. I have seen miracles. And I'll just answer you forthrightly. I absolutely believe in a miracle, that she could be alive. So I did pray about it. And I think that if anyone could stay alive, it's Nancy Guthrie. Savannah got her love of the Lord. Her father died when she was really young. They were just left on their own. Their father they loved. And Nancy is a tough woman. And I'll tell you this. I think 100% she's alive. And if by chance she's not, her death was to serve others in some way that we don't know right now. But for Savannah, I am praying that she is alive. I talked to her. I said, Nancy, you keep going.
It's so hard because it's like every time you turn the TV on, this story changes.
It is a wild story.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth was alive, and maybe that's why we're talking about Elizabeth Smart.
Yeah.
Everyone wrote her off. But yet this homeless man, do you see? Like, I have a connection to the homeless, right? And I think that's why David appeared, and a homeless man told me that Elizabeth was up there, right? So the fact is, in my heart and head right now, Savannah's mom is alive. And we just don't know. It is, these stories, the press always know things 2 days before the public gets it. That's just the way it works, right? So
even they know before the cops, or just
no, they know when the cops know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cops are sacrosanct.
Right.
That's the one thing I know in my life. My sisters and I, our favorite TV show was Adam 12.
Wow.
I know, isn't that kind of odd?
No,
Except we loved Adam 12. We
Yeah.
loved police. Like, we were, like, all about it, And I felt, and Glen Cove has the best police in America.
My wife watches all these ghost shows. You got
Even the auxiliary police is pretty
yeah.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Auxiliary.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, my wife watches all these like ghost shows, and they go
Now, I'm
into.
kind of scared of ghosts.
Are you?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm scared of. I'm not scared
I
of
believe. Listen, if I tell you something, I know you're gonna crack up. But I had something happen to me, and I told Lisa about it. It was a few months ago, and I got up, and my father passed away 8 years ago, but I got up, and he was standing.
Oh, yeah.
And he was saying something to me, but I don't know what he was saying because his lips were moving, but nothing was coming out of his mouth.
But see, that's not a ghost, though. That
a spirit.
I know, no, but I'm just saying.
Well, there's
and
a
then
big difference between ghosts
well,
and
you know, Joe, you know what I mean.
No, I know.
I thought I was going crazy, but I told Lisa, and Lisa, and you know what she said? She goes,
Go back to sleep?
No, she said I felt something.
Yes.
She said she felt something by her feet.
Oh, wow.
So you just have to ask your dad to come back. Just say, Dad, I did.
I wish he would come back.
He
I
will
mean,
come back.
it was the weirdest, and I told my mother too. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I got up and he's standing there, and you know. Well, actually, the day before, I said to somebody, there's so much going on with my life now that I wish my father was here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember I said that.
Yes.
Remember, I think
Yeah,
I told you, right?
Yep.
I told you that.
Yep.
I told Joe that
Because he called me back, John.
Yeah.
I did. I called him back.
Yeah.
I did.
I know.
Because I've been through so many like nonsense things growing up, and even a couple of my teachers always told me I'm not going to amount to nothing. That's what some of my teachers said.
that's
to
when
me.
you know. That's
So-
when you know you're going to be great.
So now
Exactly.
I got all this going on, and I remember I did tell you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I said I wish my father was here to see all the things that
and
I'm
he
doing.
came, but even if you couldn't hear him, he was validating that.
It
like,
was
that's
the
amazing.
it was
He
very
came,
weird.
You asked,
Yeah,
and he came. That is a blessing.
it
in
was
your life.
very weird. And then Lisa, I thought what I told Lisa, she probably going to think I was crazy, but she goes, "No, I felt something by my feet."
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Did I tell you the next day what happened? Or
No.
no, I was afraid to say anything. I was, Joe. I mean, I thought people were going to think I'm
No.
nuts.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
That's
That's
That's-
another.
that's
that-
a given.
That's another story.
yeah. That's
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole nother show. But I believe I know, and Joe is very spiritual. You're a very spiritual guy.
Mm-hmm.
Joe is very, and he on his show. If you listen to his show on Sundays, he does. He plays Italian music, but he always talks about all the stuff that goes on with the church.
Yeah.
And he talks about the father, and he always mentions that stuff, and people have to realize that faith, it's such a big thing now. You have to have faith. If you don't have faith, then what do you have? You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt to pray, like and I know you say you pray a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to pray. It doesn't hurt to say, God, what do I do next? Or Jesus, what do I do next?
Because he will answer.
Absolutely. But I'm telling you, that night, I got up
You
and I
got
thought I was dreaming. But then Lisa said she felt something by her feet.
So what happened the next day?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then I told my mother. I had to tell my mother.
Yeah.
And my mother always tells me that she sees my father all the time.
Yeah.
My father's always around. But my father, always did stuff for the church. He was always he was an usher for St. Pat's, but he was, but growing up, he always took us to St. Rocco's. And, but we never talked about, Jesus or God during the week. Only on Sunday he took us to church. But he became spiritual when he got older. I guess that's what happens, right, Joe? I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird what happens to people, It's weird with me because you walk into my house and I got Jesus all over the place.
When was the last time you were at church?
So you don't have to go to because I
know. I'm just asking.
So I said something one time. I was at St. Rocco's feast, and I talked to one of the. He wasn't a priest. It was a God. Who? But anyway, I said. He said the same thing. When's the last time you've been to church? So the day after we put the cam. Oh, so this is what my wife said. She said, so the day after we put the ring cam on our deck, I looked that night. Your father was there, and there was an orb at our bed window. So she took a picture of it. She has the. So we. It was really weird. I'm telling you. But I call people Cape people that go to church. You know what Cape people are?
No.
Christmas, Ash Wednesday, Palm Sunday, Easter. They're Cape. That's the only time they show up to church. And I don't go to church, but that doesn't mean I don't believe.
No. You have to, you know what? We all have our own relationship with the Holy Spirit. God,
Right,
Father,
right.
and Son, right. And we also have different seasons, right? Where you're going to church regularly for years and years, and then sometimes you need to find a new church. And I think that we all have to respect each other, where we are and what we're doing. And look at people who do shift work. Churches aren't even on their schedule.
Right.
But YouTube is great. Because you can really, I just love I've learned so much. Like, my guy now is Mike Winger. Winger. He's definitely more evangelical, but he is solid sound. He's like a Bible teacher. Like, you go on, and he's really been going after some of the evangelical churches that have been having a bit. Well,
Right.
There's a big problem out there.
Well, they're false. They're false teachers.
They're
correct?
good evangelical.
Right.
But it's really the prophecy churches.
Right.
That, but the thing is, you're not always, God's going to put you in different places for different times, and you just need to know your calling by just saying, God, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Because sometimes it feels like, I should be doing this, and I shouldn't. So, and when you testify to people, sometimes you can testify to people who aren't going to church right now, and they need to feel okay about that, because God is, so like I say, shift workers, the churches aren't open when they are. They should probably be churches open for shift workers. I mean, maybe there are. But I just think we're changing. And I would never, ever, it's the relationship with Jesus comes before the church. It just does. Then you will go to, Jesus will put you in the right church and take you out of a church and move you for you to do your work. So.
It's really interesting. It's like, I started watching all these things now about when you die and what happened. Maybe I'm just going crazy, but I watch all these things on YouTube about, the 5 things that, you have to testify. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, something's wrong with me. I don't know.
Nothing's wrong. It's like, aren't we lucky? But there's so much more that we think this life down here is like McDonald's and, blah, blah, blah. There is an active highway going between heaven and earth all the time. And that should make us all feel amazing, because there is tough stuff going on in the world. Always,
oh, yeah.
Right? Always and forever. But the thing is, this is what I say. Like with Savannah Guthrie right now, she is going through the most horrendous time. But Jesus is with her in that time.
And there's so many evil people out there.
It doesn't make it better. It doesn't fix it. But I have been through things where I knew that I could survive it because I knew Jesus was in the bad part, the tough part. You know, do you know, oh my God, why did I forget it? Marx. Do you know the Sean Ryan show? Do
No,
you
I
know
never.
Sean Ryan?
No.
He's an amazing person. But Victor Marx, he was horrendously abused by his stepdad. Like, I am talking beyond, and he has spent his whole life. Jesus came to him during that time. And now he takes care of people who have been abused, and he fights for people. And honestly, right now, that's where we all need to be. We need to protect people.
But your calling is you feed people. That's what you do. You're feeding people because, like you said, you went for a whole week without eating when you were a kid.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And Jesus wasn't punishing me. That was preparation.
He doesn't punish anybody.
Right.
People have to learn that.
But it's but it's preparation. That's why St. Paul is really. I read Romans and Galatians over and over, and Ephesians, all his books. I read and read and read over because he went through so much, and you just have to speak up. And sometimes, like, look, I am not married. I've never been married. I had a million boyfriends. But God put me on a path. And when I was really drinking, I quit when I was 40 because I was like, I knew I had a calling. And I wasn't accepting that calling. So I was drinking the pain. And the pain of, like, kind of like...
When did you accept it? When did you finally say, this is it? I had enough? You know, when, like you say to yourself, I can't do this anymore. It's time to go down a different path.
When I was 40, I was like, that's it. You know, I had to accept my calling because I felt like, you know, like what's wrong with me? But that's not the question. It's like, what can I do? You know that song, Here I Am, Lord, Here I Am, God. That's the secret code. Because even if you don't know about the resurrection, even if you don't know anything, all you have to do is put your hand up and say, here I am, Lord. I don't know anything about you. I don't know what's going on with my life. I could not stop drinking. Could not. And I just said, and that was weird. I mean, I think my golden retriever saved me, Billy Bob.
Oh, really?
He really, you know.
Did you try to, like, go to AA and all those meetings and that it just didn't work?
I went to AA.
Yeah.
It was a miracle how I found my sponsor. I walked in that door and I knew that was it. I was very lucky because it takes a lot of tries for a lot of people. But I was very lucky. I loved it. I loved AA. And I went in 21 years ago. And it was because it was like a system. And God is mentioned like 745 times in the big book. People will say that, it's not, it's like God is, you can have a doorknob. No. Bill talks about God. And that's, then I knew that was okay, you know.
But like, you know, say, when did you decide to say, this is it, I've had it, I got to clean myself up because there's more to me than anything? You know, it's tough. Believe me, I know my wife had a problem because her father also, you know, he drank a little bit too, but you know, it's not an easy thing.
It's a terrible
It's a
disease.
horrible disease.
It's a terrible disease, but I will tell you, when I was working for Hamptons Magazine, I would come home and NYPD Blue would be on, right? So you go after Adam 12, I'm going to go to the police, I'm going to figure this out. So, and I knew I had to stop drinking. I just didn't know how. Obviously, I knew AA was out there, but I didn't really know. It was a bit kind of foggy. And Andy Sipowicz. Do you remember? Did you guys watch NYPD Blue?
I did.
No, I didn't.
Andy Sipowicz. I love that character. He was an alcoholic. And so this long storyline for a whole season was him getting sober and then him, in the other seasons, helping people. And it just, the storyline made me feel like I wasn't the worst person in the world. I clearly was like a debutante and not an NYPD guy. So,
well, you're Irish, though.
But I'm Irish. I'm Irish. And so I felt like this is possible. Like I felt it was possible. So I called my father, I said, can you give me, I said her name, she's passed now, Mary Ritter, there was a family friend. I said, can you give me her number? And he's like, sure. And I called her. And I said, you know what, Mary, I don't know, but I think I'm an alcoholic. And so we talked, and she's like, yeah, you know what? And I said, I'm going to move back down to Palm Beach. I'm going to get sober. I just didn't feel like New York. It's just two people, places, things. So I went down there, and on that phone call, we had one phone call, and I moved like in 5 days. I put my golden retriever in the car. We were gone. And I hung up the phone. Oh, and before I hung up, she said, now, remember, don't drink. Don't drink. Well, I took her totally seriously. Because she's a sponsor. She's in AA. She'd been in AA for like 40 years. So I was like, so I got down to Palm Beach. Oh, I followed Reagan's cortege. Or not the cortege. Everyone's lights were on. It was the day that Reagan had died.
Oh, is that right?
And so the whole way down to Palm Beach for like one part of the journey, everyone's headlights were on. Okay, that's like a sign.
Right.
Yeah, that's very
Right?
weird.
Like headlights coming behind, going. And so I go down and I finally see Mary. She's like, I'll see you in a week. And so when we met, she's like, well, you were drinking today, right? And I looked at her like she was crazy. And I said, no, I'm not drinking. You told me not to drink. And she was baffled. Because she kind of was like offhand, like, you know, it's like an AA. I mean, AA is tragic and amazingly hilarious at the same time because we are just nuts alcoholics. And so she was like, started laughing. She's like, Courtney, I kind of like it was a throwaway thing, like, don't drink. And she goes, you took me and I was like, yes, because I wanted to be sober. So right there, I mean, I was in. I was just in. And it was that connection of a phone call. They talk about that in AA. You call another alcoholic and they will help you. They will take you in. So that's really Andy Sipowicz and Mary Ritter.
That's an amazing. I mean, you're an amazing person. I'm telling you, we never had anybody like this, John.
No. Amazing stories. It's just capturing.
It's true because my sisters are they're not hard on me. My sisters, I love them more than anything. But like, if I even edged in something or exaggerated, they will call me and be like, that didn't happen.
Really?
Right. Yeah, they're like serious people. They're fun girls, but they're serious. So,
so growing up, both of your parents were alcoholics? Or
no,
just
my
your
father like drank Mai Tais, but
Right.
I think that was to like deal with my mother when he got home. But he was not an alcoholic, but I think he definitely depended on that to kind of deal with it. And the alcoholism was bad. I mean, it was, but you know, a lot of people drank then. It was like at the country club. I mean, we swam, you know, it's gotten better. But like I was over, I was delivering something to City Hall, and I was talking to, is it Stephanie, who's always there, and this other guy, and when the officer had died, Espinoza.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and I hadn't seen any of the police, so I saw them, so I said, you know, I just feel like I could offer you condolences as the brave to just accept my condolences for her passing. And I was just really sad. It made me just so sad. Do you know what I mean? That alcoholism, and the police officer said, you know, in my whole career, I think he's retired and he's doing, well, maybe he's not retired, but he said, in my whole career, alcoholism, he would forget guns. I mean, guns, you know, in the wrong hands. But he said, in my whole career, it was alcoholism that I saw the most tragedy.
Really?
So by the grace of God.
Well, I watched a special. I don't know when it was. And it was about people who deny that they're alcoholics. It was a really, it was an incredible show. It was on YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time, but it was incredible. It was like a 15-minute doc, and they were interviewing a few people, and there was this one lady, and then the daughter got on, and the daughter was like, "My mother's a full-blown alcoholic." Then they interviewed the mother. No, I'm not. You know, it was denial. You know, denial.
Like,
They always do that.
Yeah.
Right. Is
that right?
I knew
Yeah.
I was an alcoholic, and so then I'll just throw this in since we've just thrown everything on the table tonight. I did call Alec Baldwin drunk.
Oh, you did?
So what happened was I had interviewed him I don't know,
Is he a nasty person?
No, he was perfectly nice. There was some story, and I had to call him, and then he said, "I got to go now." And then I didn't ask a question about, maybe it was about animal rescue, right? I'm really into that whole thing. And so I was like, oh, I didn't handle that right. I should have brought that up front because I didn't know he was just going to hop off the phone dead stop. So I guess I was drinking too much one night, and I called him drunk, and I don't really remember it. But then I worked at Dan's Papers, and my boss was there. So I'm like, oh my God, that's just so embarrassing. Like, I just wanted to die, but then later on, he's in recovery. So I guess,
Oh, he is in recovery?
we have to, kind of tell people we're sorry for our behavior. So
Listen, it happens.
Right.
But
It
now
happens.
you mentioned animal rescue. We adopted a dog. We got so we're picking it up Tuesday. We went to Cove Animal Rescue.
Oh, I used to volunteer there.
Yeah.
Did Kathy help you and Diane?
I think it was Kathy. Yes. Kat. And so
Shout out to Cove Animal Rescue. I mean, amazing.
So we've been toying because we put our dog down about a year and a half ago.
Oh, so
And my wife is still devastated about it, but she, we always look at, we go on a phone and she's looking at dogs and she's looking online and stuff. And finally she goes, there's a dog that they found. I don't remember where it was. It was, I think it was, oh God, the Village Square or something like that. So anyway, they posted the dog. And then we went there the next day, and I think Kathy said, all the owners came and found it because the dog was lost. So Lisa turned to me and she said, Panera. So Lisa turned to me. She goes, what do you want to do? And all of a sudden, the door opens up, and this black Cocker Spaniel came out, went to Lisa, rubbing the belly and stuff, then comes to me. And Lisa's like, I want that dog. And Kathy said, believe it or not, we only had this dog for a week because it came from an elderly couple, and the dog is 3 years old. The dog came from an elderly couple, and they had to put the wife in a nursing home, I think a bunch of months later. And the husband, I guess, called Animal Rescue and said, I don't want this dog. I can't take care of it. You got to take it back. So they picked it up, and they picked it up, and it was there for a week, and it was weird. We're in there, and the door opened up, and out comes this Cocker Spaniel, and he was so cool, and so Lisa's like, what do you want to do? I said, yeah, I want this dog. I don't like big dogs. There was another dog that we were looking at that's been there for 4 years.
Still there?
Still there.
You didn't take him?
No, because we were told it has a biting problem.
Okay.
And I can't.
that's just tough. You have to be a real.
You got to be a real. Yeah, and Lisa is so good with dog. And Lisa just put, we got Madison there. Yeah. Oh,
You
Laura
guys are
Cusimano.
You're too mushy. You need like a spaniel.
Well,
You're a mush.
so my wife loves animals. She feeds the squirrels. You know what she did?
What?
She bought and I think I told you, Joe, she bought a cat house that plugs in, and she put it outside.
Yeah.
And to help the cats.
So you have stray cats.
We got stray cats, and they go in there. She put food in there, water, but we also get raccoons in there too. But she feeds the raccoons. She loves animals, but we wanted to adopt that other dog, but then Kathy said it has a biting problem.
Kathy's like the dog whisperer.
She was
whisperer.
great.
She knows everything.
So what happened was we went home. Lisa filled out the application. We put down that we know Joe Gallo, so hopefully that'll get us over the top.
Sure, no problem.
No problem.
We brought it back, and we didn't hear anything for a couple of days. So I went to. I had to go to some kind of training last night, and I called Lisa. I'm like, Lisa, did you hear anything? She's like, no, they haven't called us. And, it is what it is. If we don't get it, as soon as I got home, I got a text. it was from Kathy. Kathy said, "I'm sorry, but the dog has to get his rabies shot, and you can pick it up on Tuesday." So we were happy. So we're gonna pick him up, and the dog's name is Blue. He looks like you a little bit,
Looks like me. You should go black and blue then.
but it was really odd that we were in there, and that dog just walks out and runs right to Lisa, and she's rubbing the belly, and he's so happy and stuff, and I said that's we.
They
want.
know. It's like dogs and cats. They know who they're. When I volunteered at Cove Animal Rescue,
They have
before it's
75
Cove-
cats down there.
I know, but you know what would happen? Is there would be cats who had been there for like 7 years, and a little boy would walk in and want a senior cat. I mean, Kathy and Diane get to all the stories, and it's like there was a pot for every lid. I mean, it really is amazing the sense of animals. They know exactly. So Blue was just meant for you.
Yeah.
Loves Lisa.
And Laura
loves you.
Cusimano says, we love Cole Animal Rescue. We got Madison from there. Laura. You know Laura Cusimano, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Another big time volunteer.
totally.
Yeah. But it was really weird because we kept on going back and forth if we wanted a dog, and because it was tough. I was there when when I put my dog down, and it was rough.
Oh,
And I was so angry that when I went home, I emailed the governor of New York because I was so pissed off that it was loaded with cancer. So what happened was the dog, Lisa found it on the floor, and we tried to pick him up, and he wouldn't get up. We brought him outside, he wouldn't get up. It was absolutely, it was so horrible. We took him to the vet. They did a screenshot, and the lady goes, "Dog's full of cancer," and that got me so mad. You know why? Because we talk about it all the time. They put all that crap on the grass, and the dogs are licking the grass, right, Joe? Does your dog do that?
Eats the grass.
Eats the grass, and that poison's on there.
But it goes on your the paws.
Correct.
They lick
their paws, and I got so angry that when I got home, and my wife was hysterical because I told her I had to put it down, but I wrote to the governor saying this has to stop. The Roundup, I think California don't have Roundup, right?
yeah, right. Exactly.
But why are they still selling it here? And then people are putting all that poison on their grass. And Glen Cove is loaded with dogs.
And you could use white vinegar. They have
really?
High acidic white vinegar that'll kill weeds.
Okay, so that's really dumb. If we can just go around with the white vinegar spray and spray,
Yeah.
then that's our responsibility.
Yeah.
I know. Now I'm worried. Now I have another thing to worry about because my blind dog Hopi.
Yes.
I have a blind dog from Spain.
Yeah. But that's I never got an answer from Hochul, whatever. But I was so angry.
You want to drive up to Albany?
Oh, yeah, we should, right?
We could listen to freestyle
And
all the way.
then
Yeah.
well, you know what the funny thing is? So my wife had an aunt that belonged to a garden club, and they always use Roundup. And you know what happened, Joe? She got cancer in the brain, and she was gone within months because of that crap.
Well,
And-
wasn't
and-
that what Julia Roberts? What was it, Aaron Brockovich? Wasn't it Roundup? What was that, or was it something different?
I think it was was in the water. I think it was similar, but
But I was so mad because, and then you know what I did too? I saw Chuck Levine.
Oh yeah.
I told him about it because it really irritated me because I'm like, how does a dog get that much cancer all over his body? And you know what? Now I think about it, Joe, you're right. The dogs are licking their paws with all that crap on the grass. Well, how do they not know that's poison? And that goes into the water system too.
sure.
I mean, why isn't that stuff banned in New York?
Never will be.
It drives me it drives me up the wall. Really does. And I never got an answer. And I was emailing everybody. I emailed everybody. And I saw Tom Swazi down at one of the concerts. And I flipped out on him too. I said, I did, Joe. It really bugged the crap out of me.
Well, you just need to get a constituency to go to Albany. I mean, it's really everyone has animals.
You want to take a ride up there?
Let's go.
Yeah. I've had enough.
No, that's everyone. That's very upsetting.
It is. It is.
There's an answer. You have a solution. It's not like this.
Yeah. But the problem is that it's banned in California. I'm not a big person. Listen, I have relatives in California. I'm not big with California, but at least they did the right thing and banned it. Why can't they ban it over here? It's poison to us too, you know?
Right.
It just drives me up the wall. But
Save the dogs, Ralph.
but here is the funny thing. So you know my job, I go around and I pick up garbage that people can't get the trucks, the big trucks. There's this one woman that lives, Roundup is all over the foods too. See that? You heard about that, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, the pesticides. So there's an old lady. She's such a wonderful lady. If you go up, she lives up that hill on, where is it? Off of Shore Road, Carpenter.
Oh, wait.
So, and she always waits out there every morning to say hello to me. She's such a nice lady. So what happened was I told her about, our dog passing away. And then I just told her, I saw her today, and I said, oh, you know what? We just got a dog. She goes, the reason why that dog came to us, because your dog told that dog to come to us. That's what she said. What a great lady. What a just.
Very nice.
But I picked the dog up on Tuesday, and hopefully we could ban all these pesticides. It's crazy. But
I'm so excited for you and Lisa to have baby Blue. That's
yeah, it's awesome. It's you know what? It just I don't know, And then Lisa's off next week because she works for the school system. John's probably working, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, John's.
I'm working every day.
He's off Monday, though, at least.
No, we.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
we're off Monday. We're off Monday.
It's President's Day.
Yeah, it's President.
John.
You're not off?
No, I gotta go in. I got
Really?
a couple hours. I gotta go in.
So it's good that she's going to be home during the week, and then the
Yeah.
dog will get, maybe
Used to.
we're thinking about going to Joe Gallo's house and having a play date with
Sure.
all,
With Bella, yeah. No problem.
But I'm telling you, I'm so happy that you came to this show.
Yeah, we
I'm
learned a lot of stuff tonight.
You are an amazing guest.
No, I'm humbled that I would even be on this show.
Why?
Because
You see me all the time. I mean, I'm a big rock star, right?
I know. I know.
She don't
Surprised you
recognize
have
you with the glasses
glasses
down.
I don't know. No, I was so engaged on what her stories were. I never knew you did all that stuff. I see you all the time, and it's like, you're just a volunteer. I didn't know that you had all this, I mean, it's a book. It's awesome.
Now that I gotta watch The Chosen. I think I started
Mary
watching.
Stanko. Hi, Mary Stanko. Mary Stanko's on it. I saw you.
Mary Stanko.
Yeah.
Mary's got to come on too. We
Yeah,
gotta get Mary
man.
on.
So I try to get Mary on, and she goes, "What do I talk about?" I'm like, "Don't worry, just sit next
Houses.
to me."
Talk about Joey Karowski.
No, we don't. No,
I'm only kidding.
You know what? If we had Joe Karowski on here, it'll be like an 8-hour show. You know what I
We
mean?
love Mary. Mary is a big supporter of Nosh.
Is she?
Everything's Mary.
Yeah, Mary. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All those Stankos are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary
Well, I have to
involved.
give a shout out to Angelo Stanko's sister,
Angelina. Yeah.
Angelina. Last week she bought the yard breakfast
Oh, nice.
because of the plowing and stuff that he
That's
he
nice.
was cracking on me. But
Did you have to cut up the donuts from Mike? Right, Mike brought donuts.
Mike
You
brought us
one donut.
Mike brought
for
us
90
donuts.
people?
He for 50 people he brought one
One
box
donut?
of donuts.
That's like the
I
hamburger story.
said, yeah, I said, Mike, you got 12 donuts in there. There's 50 people here.
You should have got munchkins.
Everybody
You got
take a
100
bite.
Munchkins.
Everybody
No, but
take a bite. Don't worry. about it.
Mary Stanko does a lot for the Nosh too.
Oh, she does. She's
Yeah.
a big supporter. She's just a great friend. And, I mean, Angelina, the two of them, I don't really know how I could function. They just...
She did a lot for the veterans too,
Yes.
Angelina, right? I think she was there that night, right?
Yes, Tribute and Honor Foundation. Yes.
I know Mary was there, but I said hello to Mary and she walked right by me. But it's okay, Mary. It's
Just go grab a shopping cart with her picture on it. And
That's it.
I said, "Hey, how you doing, Mary?" She walked right past me. I'm like, "Okay."
Wow, that's
Is it the long hair?
No, she walked up to you and said hello. I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Yeah, go to Joe. It's okay.
But she thinks she's going to get less taxes if she talks to Joe.
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah, that's right.
The mayor.
Yeah, the mayor. But Mary and Angelo too. Angelo, I don't know if you know Angelo, but Angelo, he does a lot for the city of Glen Cove too. I don't know if he has time to do it then, but Mary's, she's a great
You
person.
have to have Mayor Stanko on this show.
That's what I'm saying. I said to her, Mary, come on the show. What am I going to talk about? What do you mean? What are you going to talk about? Just sit next to me and I'll talk to you, and
Right.
we're engaged, right? So
It's fascinating, and she does so much for Glen Cove. You
Yeah,
know,
oh, she's all over the
Chamber and everything, you know.
do you have any shout outs to give that people help you? You have any people that you want to shout out?
There are so many people. You know, I really have to.
Christine Rice is one of them too. Right?
Christine Rice is such.
We had her on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
She's such a good friend. That senior center rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm kind of glad I live in Glen Cove now.
Why?
Are you old enough to go there? Or
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. That's what I'm asking. I'm just checking.
But I'm getting ready.
Ralph is almost.
Yeah, but you know what?
Sure.
I was listening to Joe's show on Sunday, and he says 55. You feel the cracks. Didn't you
Yeah.
say that?
Well, I said, you know, they tell you when you turn 55, it's all downhill. And I said, no, it's actually uphill. It's harder. It's not easier. Uphill's harder. So
Shit.
Your bones start
hasn't gotten
cracking.
easier.
You know what I will say, shout outs to? I really love our worship leaders. I love Pastor Tommy from Glen Cove Christian. I go there a lot. Rabbi Huberman is amazing. Cantor Gustavo, Roger Williams from the Baptist Church.
Oh, he's awesome. I love him.
You know what? His sermons are amazing.
We went to Gary Alexander's, when his father passed away, I went to that church, the one on Continental, and he did the eulogy. It was amazing. He was, and every time I see him, I give him a big hug. He is a truly really good guy.
He is, about maybe 6 years ago, he did a sermon on New Year's it's like, you know what? When people try to make New Year's religious, I just feel like, blah, but what he did was, I still remember it. I mean, it was, he just is an extraordinary man of God. He is a good man.
And you have a lot of volunteers that help you out too. You want to give a shout out to some volunteers?
Volunteers are amazing. I mean, you know what I love is that some people cross over, but there's the Mondays, the Tuesdays, Thursdays, the Fridays, and some do it work double days, but they just love each other. They love Nosh. They love our families. It's such a family. I mean, no one ever walks in, even for the first time. They just feel the vibe that you're loved here, and it's just sort of a magical place. I don't even know how I don't know how to say this right. I don't know how we keep them. How do these people come and then dedicate? They work so hard.
Because they care.
They work, well, of course, but it's extraordinary. And they're all so bright and kind, and they do a million other things too. And you know what? We have a Tuesday night pantry. I'll do a shout out for that. It's open from 5 to 7 because we're open Mondays, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 1 p.m. And we're open every other Saturday from 9:30 to 12. Tuesdays, 5 to 7. It rocks. You know what it's made of? Teachers and students.
Oh, really?
It is amazing. We have teachers from all over, from Glen Cove schools, from North Shore, and it's just this vibe of teachers and students, and we have the faithful, the same people come, and we have about 70 families come every Tuesday night, and we have about anywhere from 70 to 106 come in the morning. So in that day alone, I can't do math, but it's 106 plus 70. That's almost 200 families.
That's incredible. That's unbelievable.
Because we do route drivers on Tuesday also, so it's way over that. So it's just such a special place. So I would just say every volunteer we could not live without. They just bring something that it's really, there's a building, and we love the veterans. They visit Howard.
They're the best.
Ron, they all come in and talk to us. The truth is that building is held up by people.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And it's noshdelivers.org.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
And I just would like to
dog.
say we have a food hotline. So this is really important that anyone can call the food hotline and they will be called back. And it's 516-366-0277. I'll say it again. 516-366-0277. And the thing is, please, we need to share that hotline number because there are still people struggling. Not everyone in the world. People like to think that everyone knows about Nosh, but let me be clear. They do not. Nick Martone and I, who's a good friend of mine, used to hand out flyers at Downtown Sounds every single Friday night the whole summer.
What's that number? 516?
516
Right.
366 0277.
0277?
Yes, that is our hotline. So you call the hotline, they'll return your call. You can sign up for delivery, home delivery, or they'll say you can come in Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Tuesday night, and you come in and you sign up. And it's a very easy process. No one is turned away. I mean, we do say you do need to be, we serve from Bayville to Glen Head.
Right, you
So
have to be-
that is our,
Range.
our range. But if you live here, you are family.
And nobody gets turned away.
No.
Yeah, people have to realize.
No, and some people only need help for a week. Like
Right.
you said, they could be
Right.
between jobs. They could be, the mechanical failure on the car, and they need all that money to pay for the car to get to work. There's some people only need help for a little bit, and some people need help for a long time. But it's a good way to get help. It's there.
Yeah. And Mary Stanko said, whatever they need, I believe in my community.
That's right.
Oh, and then plus my wife says, we have a frozen turkey. Where can we bring that?
You can bring us the frozen turkey.
All right, where can I bring it? Just to the Nosh? Just drop it off?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to bring it.
Thank you,
when are
Lisa.
you?
We're closed this weekend, so we'll be open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
I'll bring it Tuesday. I'm
9
working
to 1.
Tuesday.
And what's the number again?
516.
366 0277.
Okay.
And if people have any questions too, and that could be call if you want to come volunteer. If you want to volunteer, just go to our website, www.noshdelivers.org, and email us. If you have kids, send them to me. My email is events, EVENTS, @noshdelivers.org. We have youth groups at night. That's why I'm not married. I have kids every night, and I love it. I just wouldn't trade
great.
that. So we have high school youth groups. We have we have a lot of kids doing a lot of important things.
Yeah, well, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
And do you ever do you ever sleep?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
It seems like you. I'm telling you, you're John.
Amazing.
Amazing. You're one of the most amazing guests. I mean, I love all my guests.
North Pole and South Pole.
Yeah.
Do you know who I went with? We're done with it. So
God.
I'm moving to Washington to work for People magazine, right? So I'm very excited. I'm on an airplane, and I see this lady, Mary Lou Whitney. She was an heiress. She was married to Cornelius Vanderbilt Whitney. And so, but I hadn't really met her. It's kind of like Ellen Hudson. I'm going to put Ellen Hudson and Mary Lou Whitney in the same ballpark, that we all saw each other at different places, but never had met up. And there's always a reason for that. So I saw her on the plane, and we kind of both locked eyes. And so then we sat together. And so she was thrilled. She loved the press. So I said, she goes, well, what are you doing, Courtney? And I said, well, I'm moving to Washington to work for People magazine. And she's like, oh, well, then you have to come to my Kentucky Derby party. And then we take a bus and we go to, she was in Louisville, in Lexington. And this is opposite. Louisville is where the Derby is. I should know this, but anyway, Valentine's Coma. And so the first day I waltz into People magazine, I say to Gary Clifford, the bureau chief, I said, well, Mary Lou Whitney wants me to come out and cover the Kentucky Derby, and I just didn't know I was going to Washington. I thought I'd be doing like Washington-y things, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's great, you're going. And it was the same year that the Cato Kalin and the O.J. Simpson stuff.
Oh my
So
God.
he was there. And so I kept going back. And then, so one year, Ivanka Trump was staying at Mary Lou Whitney. So you'd stay at the big, spot with Mary Lou Whitney, and she and her boyfriend, this Italian boyfriend, was there. And Susan Lucci, Joan Rivers. I made Joan Rivers cry.
Wow.
Really?
I felt so bad. She was sitting on a set. She was actually a very serious woman because I think she's
I met her at a
hilarious.
book signing.
I think she's hilarious,
She
right?
was-
I
yeah.
always liked her, but she was very
The
serious.
Derby was at Lexington.
Right. So it was in Louisville that Mary Lou's house was, and she'd rent this big, huge bus, and then they drive. I don't know. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But so she was on the sofa and she just looked really sad. So I went and sat down next to her. Like I always do weird stuff like that. So I took her hand and I said, "Are you okay?" Like hadn't met her before. This was in Mary Lou's living room, and I took her hand. And I was like, "Are you okay?" She said, "Oh, I don't know." And I said, "Well," and she stopped talking. So I said, "Well, Joan, I need to say this to you. I don't know you, but I know you really love your daughter. Like your daughter, you love her. You two are so close. And she's really lucky to have you." And then she starts crying. And I think it was Gary Collins came over and said, "Courtney, are you making Joan Rivers cry?"
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't but that was such a
Right.
different side of Joan. She was so touched that someone just had acknowledged that her daughter was the most important thing in her life, not what she did,
Right.
not anything else. And it just made her cry. So I did get in trouble. No, I'm just kidding. That I made her cry.
You're fired.
That's it.
Never coming back to the Kentucky Derby. So then one year I did win. I never bet. Again, I'm not a finance person. And the lady who sat next to me, Mrs. Thomas Mellon, said, "Oh, my horse sired the horse that's running." And I think her horse was Go for Jen, or maybe that horse was Go for Jen. I can't remember. So she was like, "Well, are you going to go bet?" And I said, "Oh, I don't bet. I'm a journalist. I think that's against illegal to do that." So she said, "Oh, stop it, Courtney." So I went and I bet. I didn't even know how to bet. I didn't understand that you were supposed to do first, second, third, or whatever that is. So all I had was $80 to my name. Never. I mean, if I have at any one time even $80 in the bank, that would be surprising. So I just went, and he said, "Well, what do you want to bet?" It was like they were about to close the betting, so I just said, "I don't know. What do I do? I have $80. Why don't you take my $80?" So he said, "Okay." That horse won the Derby.
Oh, wow.
I went back and I had $800, and I had invited my sister that year to come out with me because Mary Lou thought that was fun. And so I come back and I'm late because I'm collecting my money, and everyone's like, and no one's supposed to be late with Mary Lou. So I come back and I sit down next to my sister, and I kind of look this way, and I went like this, and I fanned out the $800, which is like $1 million to me. And she's like, "Oh my God." She goes, "Did you bet?" And I said,
Oh, God.
I did, and I won. And she was just floored because I'm just not Miss Moneybags, right? But anyway, so that was, I
great.
never bet again. I thought, I can't ever top that. So
My brother, he owns a deli in Brookville,
oh,
where the Holiday Farms is.
oh yes.
So one day he calls me up. He goes, "You want to play cards?" I said, "Yeah, all right, I'll play cards." I went over there, and who's sitting there? All the jockeys. All the jockeys, because they all live around here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I should have brought some stuff to get signed." So I was like, "Just sit down," and I'm like, and then all of a sudden I started going more often. But I'm an autograph hound.
Oh,
So I met probably everybody in the whole entire world.
see, you should have worked for Barry Levine at the National Enquirer. You would have known who everyone was.
Right.
Yeah. But I probably met everybody from DiMaggio to Mickey Mantle. I was on the Howard Stern movie. I got on there just to get autographs.
I bet you and Howard Stern would have hit it off.
That's right.
Totally. Let's just put it out
They
there.
rub heads together.
Well, listen, I found my calling. This is my calling.
It totally is.
You know what I mean?
That's what we're talking about, our callings. Like, it is such a blessing to know your calling and believe in yourself.
But the thing is that it all started on a train ride. Right, Joe?
See, the origin story.
Well, what happened was, so my son and myself, we went to a Knick game, and I've known Joe for like 100 years, but I see him on the train. So we sit and he was trying to have my son pick up all these girls that were going by. My son, he said, I don't care. My son don't care. And Joe goes, he goes, I'm trying to start, the Italian house party again. Right, Joe?
Right.
And he goes, why don't you come by the studio? Because he was being trained by Gio, which he had his own show. So I said, all right, yeah, no problem. So I went there, and I sat with them, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, we had a good time.
So we sat there for a while, and I said, I love doing this. What am I doing? I should be doing radio. So finally, they gave Joe his spot, and I helped him out with the board. I didn't even know how to use the board, and I learned it in 10 minutes.
Okay, that says something, because that's not easy.
I learned it in 10 minutes because I watched Gio, and big shout out to Gio. I miss him. I know. He got married, but I sat with Joe for a bunch of shows, and it was great. I learned. I didn't know how to use the board, but I did. I trained myself, and Joe is doing a good job, except you made some mistakes on Sunday. But
well, that's yeah. I know.
But then John came into the picture.
Saved the
So
show.
John came into the picture because he was going to do a show at that.
Your favorite music.
Yes.
He was doing, he's going to do hip hop or whatever that was.
Freestyle.
Sorry. And but it didn't.
John and I wanted to do a show for a long time.
Yeah.
But so it didn't work out with John, and then John said, why don't we do our own podcast? And then we're here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it took off.
So when can we reschedule Courtney to come back?
Yeah, Courtney,
You're going to have to come back because I want to learn more about Antarctica.
Yeah.
The Iditarod. And
Yeah.
We got to schedule it back.
You got a lot. You got a lot of stories.
You're a true inspiration.
Yes.
I think that's why those people come back.
Yeah, that's right.
I think so.
You have some story. You should write a book. It's amazing.
No, I have started. I know, because I didn't. I just start writing my memoirs, just like short stories.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you must just say to yourself, thank God.
That's what.
Thank God.
Every day's a blessing, and every day's kind of humbling, really. And I just try. You know what? When I grew up, everyone was equal. Every single person deserves love, deserves our care, and you guys are like that. Like, that's why we're sitting here. And you know what? I never look down on anybody, because I do know that so many people have faced such hard things that they would never talk about. And sometimes we just have to be there for them. The people that we kind of would have judged before, I think everyone is judge proof.
And it's weird because not to, this is serious, Joe. Joe taught me some stuff. You know what Joe always told me? It doesn't hurt to say good morning.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it. That's the mayor for you. It doesn't hurt. And you know what? He's right. Joe would say every time he texts me, he never says, what are you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. He always, right, John? Mm-hmm. Well, you never called me anyway. So,
anyway. I'm getting to my part now. I'm getting to my part.
Okay.
So and then you finish.
But seriously, he said it one time. I don't know when you said it to me, but he always says it doesn't hurt to say good morning. And if I say it again, I think you told me that when you were in 7-Eleven or something.
I do it everywhere.
Well, you said good morning, and the person didn't answer you.
Right.
You said good morning again. And, that's it.
Right.
Listen, you try, open the door for somebody. What is a big,
But you can't. Some people are suffering. Maybe not like suffering, like something has happened.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
You don't?
And just someone looking you in the eye with kindness makes a huge difference, because maybe you'll never see that person again, but maybe they'll go home and feel better and just say to their wife, you know what? It's going to be okay.
Right.
Like the word okay, I'm like a Bible girl. I read it all the time. But lately, the word okay has just been coming to me and coming to me and coming to me. And it's like, we're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay, but you know what, we need each other.
Everything works out.
Yep.
Everything works out. You just have to have faith and, listen, I got a great family. I really, it's funny because I think about my father all the time, but my mother is going to be 94 in April.
Wow.
She's just an amazing woman, and you know what she always says to me? I always tell my mother, she'll yell at me all the time. No, not yell, but say, get a haircut, do this and
they
that.
have to.
Right, Joe? Mm-hmm. But then I said, Ma, don't worry about it. She goes, you're my son. I'll always worry about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That really, you think about that. And same with my wife. My wife always tells my kids, doesn't matter how old you are, but I'm always going to worry about you. You know what I mean?
But isn't that the best feeling?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And some people don't have people who maybe when they were growing up worried about them.
Right.
But they can find them, and maybe we have to be that person.
That's right.
Maybe, I've said that to people before. I am like, oh, don't worry about me. Like, no. Right. I am going to worry about you, but like.
Well, that's what I learned several years ago. I got invited to the men's group at St. Gertrude's.
Ah. And
Andrew DiNatale kept pestering from the beginning when they started. It's about 5 years ago that they started to come. It's Saturday mornings at 7 o'clock. I said, I work all week, and Saturdays are my day to walk the dog, cut the lawn, and do my stuff. But one rainy day, I ended up going. I'm there almost every Saturday. And the one thing that I learned, which has really changed my life, is you have to pray for yourself first. Mm-hmm. It's just like when that airplane's going down and that oxygen mask comes out, you got to put yours on first. You got to take care of yourself, and then you can take care of others.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
100%.
So,
and that takes a long time to learn, actually.
Yes. No, it does. It's hard. It's challenging, but at the end of the day...
Right.
So would you like to come back?
Oh my gosh, I am here. I can't believe I'm on your podcast. I'm such a podcast
Just
fan.
tell the truth. You can't believe you're sitting next to me. That's all, right, Joe? Come on, Joe.
I'm like, this is a nice sandwich. This is great.
Did you know? I gotta say this. I was at Sam's Club one day. And with my wife. So my wife went to the produce department, and all of a sudden she sees these women chasing me, and because it's true, it's true.
I know.
He knows.
I know.
They said you're somebody. We know you're somebody and stuff. And I told them, the Italian house party and stuff, and they were just following me, and my wife was like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And it was funny. Lisa said to me the other day, she goes, when you become famous, you can't go anywhere. I said, I am famous anyway. Don't matter.
But you do have rock star charisma. You have that classic.
Oh,
right.
God. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
It's
the truth, John.
It's good to have a fire alarm in the...
You know what I love about these two guys? I'm going to tell you
God help us.
you know what I love about
Lisa, it wasn't me that said it. He said it's already big.
Is that John, I just... For some reason, I was born to be next to this guy for some reason. And Joe, I love Joe to death. I mean, I can't explain about Joe. It's just, I love to be with these guys. Yeah. I could sit with them for hours and we just bull.
Yeah.
And I love it. And when I leave here, and I love going home to my family, but during the week, I miss these two guys. And I think about them all the time. I'm always thinking about, like when I listen to his show on Sundays. This guy never calls me back.
Listen,
it's okay.
Listen, at least your mind works, but your fingers don't work. At least you're thinking about me, but your fingers don't work.
I think about you all the time, but when he didn't call me.
Yeah, you think about not calling me back.
You didn't call me back this week.
Okay, now you know how it feels.
Very upsetting. But
okay.
We want you to come back. We think you're just one of the most interesting person I've ever met in my life.
Exactly.
It's an incredible. And did you enjoy yourself?
I had the best time. I just honestly.
A lot of people are afraid to come on here, and then they get comfortable, and you sit next to the mayor and myself.
Yeah, but this is easy. You guys are the best, and that's why I listened to your podcast before.
Yeah.
I just liked it.
And it's fun,
And
right?
I will say this. I think that, Mother Teresa used to say this, the biggest problem in the world is loneliness. And I truly think you never think, oh, that person has so many friends or whatever. But what you guys do is really important. It's like you have each other, and everyone should have that. And that's why I think your podcast is important, because it's local and it's here. That I think there are a lot of people who have beautiful families and wives, but they miss like this talk and this banter, and they can feel part of it. And I think on a very local level in a community, what you do is like oxygen. I think it's really important.
No, I really appreciate that.
So-
We really appreciate
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
Well,
You
and
know-
especially getting rid of the cell phones in school during those school
Oh,
hours
yeah.
makes a huge
Oh, yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
With these
No, it
students.
does. It
Yeah,
does.
but every time I see you, I really do appreciate what you say about us. It's important to all of us.
Yeah.
But we try to keep, we talk about other things, but we like to bring people from the community, and I think it's really important because there's so many different people and things and places. But I know somebody told me the other day that their brother that lives in Georgia listens to us because he thinks about Glen Cove all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have. I mean, who's listening right now, John? All over the place.
Oh, we got a lot of people listening. And,
Yeah.
yeah. From New York, we got Florida, Jersey, Staten Island,
Yeah.
back on.
And
We got
love,
everywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, we love our fan base. We really do appreciate them. Joe has a great fan base with his show.
Yes.
What's going on with your show this weekend?
This week I'm having Professor Salvatore Promeggia. He's going to talk about film and immigration, like Italian immigration here, and all the like Constantino Bromidi and all the Italians that came here and made things happen here. Built things and created things. And I'm also going to have the president Lentini from Malloy University. He's going to be coming on to talk
Oh, that's a
about-
good
yeah.
show.
Nice.
That's a good show. And thank you for playing when your old wedding ring was
Yes,
new.
yeah. No, Jimmy Roselli.
Because
No,
that was my
right.
father's favorite song.
Okay.
The minute you played that, I texted
Right.
I
Yes.
text
Oh,
you.
no, I got it.
That is and he's got a great show. If you have
Okay,
time on a
I'm-
Sunday,
yeah, now
you got to
I'm
listen
about
to
it.
his show.
I'm live every Sunday from
Yeah.
12 to 3 on OWWRNY.org.
He's got a great show. He plays great music and he does great interviews. The only problem is that I'm not there right now, and it goes down a little notch, but it's okay. I love you, Joe. Joe, I love you, Joe.
And Joe, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for playing that song, "Wondering."
I'm going to play it.
That was ridiculous.
I want to thank you from the
can't-
bottom of my heart, man.
So they
that
always
made my day. Tell me, but
they always bust my chops because I don't like freestyle music. I'm not into that. I like everything,
Right.
from Sinatra to Metallica. I listen to everything, but when it comes to freestyle, so you know what he does? He goes, I got a special, and this is on his radio show. I got a special request, and he starts playing with it. He goes, you hear that, Ralph? I'm like, is this guy kidding me? You heard that, right?
I was there with him.
Oh, he
not
was there?
in the studio.
He was on the phone with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so his show is Sunday from 12 to 3.
All
It's
right.
really,
Definitely.
yeah, you should listen to it.
Yeah, it's
really,
very, very good.
really good, and the music is excellent.
Excellent music.
But he does great interviews. That woman, yeah, she called in, right? What's her name? She
Oh,
called in.
Vanessa Ratchy, yeah.
Yeah. You played a couple of her songs
Yes.
too. Yeah, that was good. So we want you to come back.
Thank you.
I have to. Believe it or not, we're booked for the next 2 months. Believe it or not.
Of course you are.
But we get around. Well,
But April we're opened up, so we would like you to come back in April.
NoshDelivers.org.
and the number is
516-366-0277.
that's it.
Thank you.
So, any last words you want to
I
say?
just wanted to say thank you for, this was really fun, and I loved it. But to get the word about, there are hungry people, and we need to get the word out to them so they can come and not suffer. And that's the main thing, that there are people suffering, and there's help. And you guys let us voice that tonight, and that's the first thing. And it's going to make other people who are regular fans of your show kind of think, is there someone that I know might be hurting or might be having some
Exactly.
trouble, and then they can start a conversation, and know that they're sending someone to a place that they'll be loved and respected, and they'll get really balanced, good, nutritious food. So,
Well, we
Very
really
good.
enjoyed having you, and we're going to have you back again. I'll probably go and search you again, because when I see you, I stop and I always run across the street and say hello to you.
I
But
know, it's so nice.
we would like you to come back. We're going to get a date. You're the we love our guests, but you're one of the most interesting guests we have ever had. I never knew that you. I mean, you could write a novel. You could write a novel, but we appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
Joe's show is
Sunday from 12 to 3. It's the Italian House Party on owwrny.org.
Yep.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Happy Valentine's
yeah,
Day,
yeah.
everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
to my wife.
Valentine's.
Love you.
okay. Go ahead, John. Take us out. Are you going to
Yep.
call me this week or not?
Maybe.
I mean, he texts me. He goes, "I call you," and I'm still waiting.
Maybe if Lisa massage your fingers, they'll work when you get home tonight.
But listen, before we leave,
Yes.
what's the? You didn't tell me what's going on with our
Well-
new show.
All I know is we have a new show coming up. Our special guest is going to be here February 27th, and we'll talk about it more on the air. Right
Yeah.
now, we can't
Yep.
really say too much.
Yes,
But
we're
Ralph,
expanding.
just
it's
practice.
going to be an excellent show.
Hey Siri, call John Macchione.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
That's what you got to do.
That's what you do.
But you didn't call me. You're the one that said you were going to call me, and I'm like, what? She said, "Yeah, he'll call you."
And I told Lisa today. As a matter of fact, I told Lisa today.
Yeah, you said that you'll see me tonight.
Yeah. So,
So,
so I'm going to call you now when I get.
right,
Let me
yeah.
call you now so you feel better.
yeah, call me now. So.
You just called me.
I think he's been on the phone with the mystery guest. This mystery guest is. I think. Do they need a green room, or you're going to have to you're going to have to add a green room soon?
We're
Yeah, soon,
we're
but-
expanding. Also, believe it or not, I set up something at my house for the week. My daughter's going to do music on our app.
Oh,
So, but you know what? It would be not. You should. We would like to promote Nosh. We have to think of a way of doing it. Like,
let's have a live podcast. Let's do it at Nosh and invite people.
so can we do that?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do that.
I mean, I have to ask the board, but yes.
Can you
I
ask
think
the board?
Yes.
Well, I know Christine
know
Rice.
Christine, yeah, you're in. Yes.
I know Christine.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that would be.
Join the
fan-
board, Ralph. And
I
you
think,
can vote.
right. I think that would be a fantastic.
Yeah, we would
We
love
could set that up.
Yeah,
We definitely could do
Yeah,
that.
he could set that up.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy's good.
He's the producer.
He's the producer.
No, we-
Brains of the operation.
Yeah,
We'll get a live podcast going from Nash. From
yeah,
the
we would love to
headquarters
do
of
that.
Nash.
And bring more people.
People.
We have
Yes.
the most fascinating people. You guys are going to love it. It's just.
Oh, yeah.
Well, definitely we'll do it then.
Yeah. So
Set it up. We'll
there
talk,
you go, John.
We'll talk and set it up.
I feel bad because I put John to work a lot
No, that's all right.
because we're
I got plenty of time. Nobody calls me, so
We're
I
also
got plenty
doing.
of
We're
time.
also going to do a live show on Zozo's place.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do there. I talked to Jill from the Bid. We're gonna do a live show during the Downtown Sounds.
Yep.
We're gonna do something at Morgan's Park. We're gonna do a live show there.
Yeah.
So we're
Freestyle.
Yes. Freestyle. On
please
that note.
don't do that.
On that note,
Thank you,
thank
everybody.
you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. Please donate to Nosh. And 1 can of food, 1 can of anything, or any little thing will count.
Even donate $5, $10.
I hope Mike Mike's still listening.
Yeah. If Mike,
one can of food, maybe eat 50 people. So, Mike, think about donating a can.
he'll bring a can of corn
Happy
and
meal.
Happy meal.
he'll bring a can of corn and separate all the corn.
No, he'll put 1 kernel out. Mike, we love you, man. It's all out of fun. We love
Thank
you guys.
Courtney.
Courtney, thank you. You're a wonderful guest, and I learned a lot tonight about you, and it's a pleasure having you on our show. Guys, we're going to be expanding our show. We're going to have a special guest on the 27th of February. Big announcement coming, and I hope everybody tunes into that show. On that note, guys, I love you guys, and we are out of here. All right.